Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check. Mic check 1 2. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Random Show with your host, Agostino Zingo. This is the Random Show, episode number 383. Mostly a Tfatk watch along. You know what the deal is. You know what the vibes are. We're going to be watching Tfatk like a blood clot redacted family, all together, all in all together, all one and all. For those of you tuning in live via the live stream, thank you for joining me. It's another day of our April membership-a-thon, whatever it's called, where I'm streaming every freaking day of the flipping month. I think I might have missed 3 days only, or 4, or no, 3 in a row. I think it was 3. It wasn't 4. It was definitely 3. But we're back on the wagon now. We're back on the horse. We're not flipping stopping. So we're going to be streaming throughout the entirety of the month, every single day. And the aim is, the hope is to get to 500 members by the end of the month. Link for all of that shit is down below in the description. To become a member, you want to join the gang, get access to member-only videos, make sure you click the link down below. The rest of you, like the stream, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the stream, subscribe to the channel. Take part in the chat. Great chat. Not a good chat, best chat in the world. All that good shit. Join the Discord. All that good shit. You know how we do. You know how we do. Oh, by the way, if you're listening, my voice should sound a little bit poppier. It should be a little bit louder. I changed the foam because the previous foam as well is disgusting. It was getting really manky anyway, right? It's getting. Can you see that? It's really manky. Look at that. Ugh, look at that. All right. So I had to buy a new foam, but it's also really thick. And I bought this from Amazon. This is like the official, this is like the legit Shaw foam. It's like a Shaw branded foam. It was like £20 or something, £30. I was like, fuck that, I'm not buying this again because it's super thick and unnecessary. So I purchased a new replacement one from AliExpress. It took 2 weeks to come and it probably doesn't fit the greatest, but it's okay. It does a job. It does the job. It's like, I think I bought it for like 50 cents or maybe £1. So it's like £1 v £20. Obviously this is way more thick. It looks way more it looks a bit more sturdy. It's an official Shaw foam, but this foam ain't too bad. And I got 2 in a packet. I've got another one somewhere as well, so I bought 2. I bought fucking 2. So anyway, here we are, man. Here we are. We're back, ready to roll. For those of you wondering, before you asked, I forgot once again to bring out the gold jacket, but I'm bringing it out tomorrow. So I'm gonna do another stream tomorrow. We're gonna do mainly Tfatk only today, but we're gonna do a longer stream tomorrow during the day when I'm awake and shit. So we're going to do a longer daytime stream, which I don't usually do, but we're going to get it in anyway because fuck it, why not? So we're going to do a day stream tomorrow, and you will see the golden hour jacket, courtesy of fucking Emdas, worn on my big broad shoulders tomorrow. So if you're looking forward to that, definitely wait for that to happen tomorrow. I know I was meant to do it today, but I forgot again because I'm a fucking idiot. But I will have it on tomorrow during the long stream. But look how dirty that fucking mic. Look at that. That's all from talking, you know. Ugh. I'm sorry if you're eating or if you're drinking something. I apologize. I won't show you that again. Big up the stream chat. Big up everybody who's tuning in. Appreciate all of you. Big up Uche. Poppy voice equals poppers. Yeah, I'm on that. To be fair, I didn't really do, when I was at my peak going out, I didn't really do many poppers. I'm not gonna lie. I never really understood that. I think I treated poppers the same way people treat. No, I think I had the same opinion to poppers I have to like balloons and stuff, like helium, like laughing gas and shit. The same opinion I have with fucking shisha. Like, I don't get it really. There's people in this country, especially in London. There's people in London that, I saw a picture went viral of a Deliveroo guy, right? One of those fucking, food delivery guys on his bike, sucking on a balloon, like doing balloons while he's working. So people are addicted to balloons in a mad way. There's kids getting in car crashes on balloons. There's people basically doing too many balloons to the point where they become disabled. Have you heard of that? That's a big issue here in London. People are doing so many balloons that they are somehow making themselves paralyzed, which is fucking nuts. But I class poppers in the same category. I don't really get it. It's not really for me. It's a short burst. It's overrated, really. Yeah. I get the meme culturally, understand what it means and stuff, especially to the gay community and whatnot. The bottles themselves look really cool, especially some of the branding and whatnot. But poppers are not for me. Poppers are not for me. I'm not gonna lie, or maybe I am lying. Who knows? Because the lady does protest too much. Moving on. So we're gonna do mostly Tfatk. So let me just get my tabs organized here before we rock on. And what we're gonna do first is that we're gonna quickly check the Tfatk Reddit, see if anything I missed there, and then we're gonna go straight into Tfatk episode number 1080. And then the rest of the show will happen tomorrow during the day. So this will be about 2.5 hour show, maybe 3. And then the rest of the big show terms looking after everything else, finishing up the Yuri and Riley fucking documentary that we didn't finish up, doing some Wings of Redemption shit, some DSP shit that's happened that's quite funny. And we're gonna touch on maybe some No Jumper stuff that's also happened. We're gonna do that during the day tomorrow. So this would mostly be about Tfatk watch along. Mostly be a Tfatk watch along.
Powerful bunch.
Hey yo, big up successful.
Long time listener. Big up Saws.
Oh, I appreciate you successful. I appreciate you, successful egg. Thank you for being a long time listener. Thank you for the super chat. You're an absolute legend. I appreciate you. So let me not waffle too much. Let's get right on into it. So first things first, let's check out what the Reddit. What's the Reddit? What we missed out on? We saw this, right? We saw what do we see? Yeah, we saw this, right? We saw even Drake's girl doesn't seem to like the Bronco, right? We saw this, right? I'm sure we saw this. Let me just double check though. I think we did see this already though. Even Drake's girl. Person.
Riding in the Bronco with no doors.
Bless, I guess. Nothing more to say about that, you know. It is what it is. Big up her. RIP the remaining fish. Let's see what's going on there. RIP remaining fish. What's this post about? Before we continue here, Brendan Schaub's Instagram says shit is getting real. Fish tanks are shut down. Last thing before the move. I think this is just him trying to get content out, because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't this fish tank empty when the pictures of the house were put on for sale? When the pictures of the house were put up for it to be for sale, I swear that Zillow listing, the fish tank was empty, and I think that those pictures from Zillow were recent because they wanted to get the house sold, so they need to probably have pictures of the house as it in its current condition. So I think Brendan got rid of those fish time ago. I think the time that he stopped talking about fishes on the pod, I don't know when it particularly was, but the time he stopped actually mentioning his tank and how much he has to do and blah, 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 and Rick Ross DMs, I think he gadooshed. I think he flushed those fishes down the drain a long time ago. I personally think so. So this is just him, I guess, trying to get more content or be funny. But this has been done for a while. But hey, let him do his thing, I guess. We got this post we spoke about already. Yeah, the rumors are true post, courtesy of Brendan Schaub's wife there. What's this? Rinks has a cameo in Tom Macdonald's masterpiece. Oh, Tom Macdonald is that white guy, right? With the tattoos, that's the conservative rapper. So he's got a song with a, what's this? Is that a flag? Yeah, is that a real flag? Yeah, a real flag that says can't cancel all of us. He's still talking about cancel culture. Jesus, Tom Macdonald, man. Come on, you got to move on, brother. You have to move on. I get the parody song thing, but isn't this Tom Macdonald guy like an actual proper artist? He's not just like a parody singer. You have to move on, you surely at some point, no? Anyway, let's see Brian Callen's cameo on this video. Oh, it's so loud. Fucking hell. Sorry, let me lower the volume. Apologies if I blew out some of your ears. Apologies. It's so fucking loud. That's Tito Ortiz, right? Cool. Oh, that's that girl that asked questions on the street, right? And she got punched, I think, one time. I don't know who that lady is. I don't know who this man is. I don't know who that guy is. Yeah, too many white people. I don't know who these people are. Maybe this guy's native, but there's too many Caucasians. I have no idea who these people are. Who the fuck is that? The Benny Show. Who the fuck is Benny? Who the fuck is that? Who's that family? No idea. Oh my god, look at him. Old man Rinks. Old man Rinks. There he is. Old man Rinks. Look how big that nose is, bro. Look at that schnoz. That's the only sad thing about getting older, isn't it? Yes, you're gonna look older, but your face thins out and then your nose just ends up looking huge, bro. Look at that. Callan the red-nosed reindeer, mate. Look at that fucking bean on his face. This is such a cringe. And again, this is when you know your career's hit rock bottom. I think doing cameos is perfectly fine, especially if you've got a family, especially if you've got bills and responsibilities. I think there's nothing wrong with having fans paying for you to say hi or sing them happy birthday, whatever. And you can do it in a dignified way, cameo. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that's an indicator of your career going down. But I think a real indication that your career is going down is, number one, appearances on like podcasts that promote like that anti-cancel culture, and also appearing in parody songs, cameos. I think that's a sign that you're down and out, because nobody that's booked and busy, nobody that's got shit going for them is going to take time out of their day to appear in a fucking parody song video. They just don't have the time. They're just too busy. They just got too many things going on. But when when your careers come to a screeching halt, as it has with Callan's, and you don't have that much going on, you can make some time to appear in a fucking Tom Macdonald music video, especially when the message is about you can't cancel us all, and you think you've been cancelled and you feel like you're the victim, even though there's actual victims out there who accuse you of some very not nice things. You're gonna appear in it, and this is a real recession, cancelled, my career's in the dumps indicator that you appear in this music video. It's kind of embarrassing. If it was me and I was him, I would rather live in a world. I'd rather like live in my own make-believe world and pretend like I'm not cancelled and not appear in this video. I'd purposely go out of my way not to appear in. I'd be like, you know what? Even though I've got nothing going for myself and I should probably do this for the look, I'm gonna refuse. I'm gonna reject, because I just don't want to be associated with this shit, because it's just loser shit. It's just like no man land shit. I wonder even the people that consume this, because there's people out there that consume this type of content that actually enjoy anti-cancel culture content. That's this whole little niche. Because yes, it's a grift, but there's people out there that actually enjoy that whole thing of like, yeah, man, she's speaking truth to power, speaking up for the little guy. It's like, no, they're only speaking to you because they don't have mainstream gigs. Like if Callan was still in Hollywood, there's no way he'd be in a Tom Macdonald music video. He'd be giving Tom Macdonald a cold shoulder. He would leave Tom Macdonald on scene. But because he's not on CBS, he doesn't have a show on Fox, he doesn't have a show on Disney, he's not part of the Netflix family, Tom Macdonald is my best friend. By the way, lip syncing is not Callan's fucking talent, is it? Is he still reading it? Is he reading it? I think he's reading it as well. He's actually reading it. His eyes are going there. He can't even memorize those small amount of words, and he's actually reading it still. what a guy. Yeah, he's actually reading the lyrics. Oh, bare minimum Callan. He's in his house somewhere, still wearing a fleece, makes no effort, Bare minimum Callan does it on his phone. Everyone else is doing it in the studio, I think, right? Everyone else is doing it in the studio or whatever, or with a tripod. Callan, no effort, zero effort, just holding his phone in his hand. Bare minimum Callan. Fair play, man. Fair play. Tom Macdonald has stretched that 5 minutes of fame he had a long time. Did Tom Macdonald get on Rogan, by the way? Does anybody know? Did Tom Macdonald ever appear on Rogan? Or am I bugging out? Did he appear on Rogan? Because he's a cancelled guy, or he's about cancel culture thing. Did Rogan ever have him on? Or no? Do you guys know in the stream chat? Let me know. Did Rogan ever have Tom Macdonald on his show? No, I don't think so. Okay. I would have thought he'd been on there already. Crystalia posting an AI image of himself on Instagram. This is how attractive I am. I know he's joking, but I think men especially that do this type of shit, I think this is what, women should only do this type of thing. I think guys who do this type of thing are not so subtly signaling that they're not happy with what they look like, And maybe he's a bit too self-conscious or a bit too shy about getting work done. But I think that's what he's basically trying to signal, In reality, I think that's what he's actually trying to signal. He definitely wouldn't mind getting some fillers. Who knows? Maybe if he got some fillers and he actually changed the overall structure of his face, he might be uncancelled. He might be so good. He might end up being so good looking that he can make a comeback. You know, that's entirely possible. It's entirely possible that he could probably stretch out his face. He could probably get some fillers on. He could end up being unrecognizable or so good looking that he could actually revive his career. That's entirely possible. Really, really possible. I can see that happening. But he just has to get over the shame, the embarrassment, or the ridicule he'll receive for going under the knife. But I don't think he's on his own. I think there's a bunch of comedians, Brendan Schaub included, being an ex-comedian, who've probably had work done, but who never admit it. So he probably just do it. Just go to a fucking surgeon, take this as an example, and say, hey, give me this face, please. I need my career back. Moving on. What else have we missed out on here? Coming soon. What's this? Oh my god, big up Blood Club BGL, man. Look at this. He just keeps on winning, innit? Legit, everybody that leaves Brendan Schaub's orbit, with the exception of maybe George. I don't think is George doing that well? I don't know. But I think everybody with the exception of George over the years is absolutely shining, innit? This is a Little Caesars, right? That's a pizza place. And this is what's it? Pretzel Crust Island. I guess this is some sort of like YouTube web series. Maybe it's a sketch thing. Maybe it's a Big Brother thing. I don't know. But BGL is there. He's starring in it. BGL is starring in a Little Caesars web YouTube series thing that they're doing. He's up on the Little Caesars official Instagram. That is so fucking cool, man. That is so fucking cool. He was legitimately, reality TV parody, exactly. Big up Z. He was literally like hanging on to Brendan's coattails, like a low point of his career. He has to probably admit. I wonder if he would ever admit it, but a low point in his career had to be the time when he was hanging around Brendan, and he was literally responsible for buying Brendan's Pepsis and shit, or carrying boxes of Brendan's Pepsis for him to all the gigs. That must have been a low period to be basically Brendan Schaub's runner. Like, it's bad enough you have to fucking buy him his Adderalls and shit, right? And organize the baddies or wrangle the baddies. But I guess you maybe get something out of that yourself. You get a couple of Adderall yourself, and you actually maybe might get your little wee-wee sucked. But being as low as carrying around Pepsi boxes for Brendan, that must be low. And now he's on, halftime Super Bowl fucking ads and shit. He's starring in Little Caesars parody reality TV show series things. It's fucking cool, man. Honestly, it's so amazing. Really, everybody that makes a way to care, or everyone that kind of gets away from Brendan, whether it's Brendan firing them or them leaving of their own volition, they end up in a far better place. Far better place. It's almost as if Brendan might be the problem. Continuing on, we got another one here. Has Bappa been a homeless cat this whole time? What's this about?
Like,
a new cat colors define genetic expectations.
You dye your mustache?
No.
That's crazy. How
It comes in dark.
that is. Compared to like when you having some gray.
I don't really have gray hair,
but as it keeps
Not a
going,
lot.
Yeah.
but if I trim it, so it starts off and then it gets gray. So if it gets longer, it gets like it's gray.
It actually doesn't make any sense.
Fair play, he admitted it later, but the instant reaction to lie is fucking crazy. Fair enough, he admitted it after the fact, right? That clip is a bit out of context. As it goes on, he then confesses that he lied. But the fact that he just
Powerful bunch.
Yeah, big up Abe Martinez, appreciate it, brother.
Today I watched a 4-hour compilation of Chris and Brian on each other's pods hanging out. Remember Brian had dinner with him once 14 years ago on tour. Rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Yeah.
Rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Big up Abe Martinez. Thank you for the super chat. Yes, brother. I'm not somebody for karmic retribution. I'm not the karmic retribution guy. Like I said previously, I think locals have taught me over the years that karma doesn't exist, right? The likes of DSP, Boogie, Wings of Redemption, they are garbage human beings, like some of the worst humans you've ever interacted or seen in your entire lives. Yet collectively, individually, some of these guys make more money than we've ever made, or than you'll ever make in your life, right? So they have a fan base. There are people giving them money. They work a career. They can basically do what they want. but they're awful people and they never seem to get what's coming to them, right? So that made me think, you know what, karma doesn't exist. It really is a myth, this karma thing. It's maybe something we tell ourselves to kind of give ourselves comfort. But I did have some level of like satisfaction when Callan went down the way he did, because I could not believe when he came up and said what he said about Chris. When Chris got cancelled and he tried to make out like they weren't friends, like you said, we had dinner one time, we never went on the road together, and literally threw him under the bus. The fact that they recorded it, like, regardless if you believe Chris did what he did or not, right? What is alleged of, I personally think he's guilty. If you had to ask me, gun to my head, is Chris Lee a diddler? I'm going to say yes, right? Definitely a diddler. But those are his friends. The fact that they got on camera the very next day or same day and did that whole crying thing, profited off of the whole thing, right? Threw him under the bus without even calling the guy first, addressed it, was disgusting. And then for Callan to end up to act like as if they're not friends was horrible. But then the karmic retribution, as he throws Chris Lee under the bus. We're not friends. I never hung out with him. We were never on tour together. We had dinner once. Da 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 da. And then the very next day, or maybe 2 days later, his allegations come out, which are even far worse of a crime. That was sweet, sweet, sweet karmic retribution. And it's even funnier now, like Thingy said, because I remember before he threw Dillon under the bus, everybody on the Reddit noticed that Callan had wiped his entire Instagram of any trace of Chris. Like loads of clips, loads of little Instagram things that we've kind of lost to time. Brian Callan got rid of them. And when he was confronted about it, he was like, oh, it was because of my daughter. The people are leaving crazy messages and I don't want my daughter to... Shut up about your daughter, bro. You're trying to save your career and obviously throw your friend under the bus. But in the end, people, because they just enjoyed their comedy and how they got along, little did Callan know that there were people compiling compilations of some of the funny moments between Chris and Brian Callan over the years. So if you're not friends and you didn't hang around each other, how is it that people have put together a 2-hour compilation of your funny moments if you were never close, if you were never cool, if you never spent prolonged time, around each other? Like, oh yeah. Honestly, big up Abe Martinez. That was a sweet moment in Tfatk law history. That was such a sweet moment to witness in real time. Continuing on. What's that? Baseball Dad, I think. What's going on here?
Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy.
By the way, I think the Ozempic is running out, or Brendan's getting back into eating other foods, because his face is looking a lot fuller. He's not looking as drained or as like hollow in the cheeks. He's looking a lot more fuller, which is probably a good thing. Looks like he's got more life in his face, but he's definitely looking a lot more full in the face. The Ozempic hollow glow is gone.
Monday, kids. Nice little weekend, full of baseball as usual. Is there anything worse when people are telling you about their schedule with their kids? Like, unless it's your kids or you're on the same baseball team or you're in the same school, you really don't give a fuck.
By the way, can somebody explain, if people in the stream chat are like are a little bit clued in when it comes to psychology, what do you think this is about? Because Brendan does this quite often. This is one example, but Brendan will sometimes say something like this about what other people do inadvertently, without knowing or realizing it's something that he does. Is this like a guilty conscious? Like, what's going on here? 'Cause he does this quite a lot. Like, or does he just forget what he's done? Is he trying to save face? It's a strange thing. Like, oh my god, man, people that talk about their kids and their baseball, they're so annoying. Who gives a fuck, man? It's your kid. And it's like, bro, that's your entire like content now. That's your entire persona. A baseball dad. You get on fucking pods and talk about your kid's athletic prowess ad nauseum, you know? No one fucking is entertained by it, but you just kind of force it down people's throats, you know what I mean? And now here he is talking about how he doesn't like it when other people do it. It's like, huh?
Big tournament coming up. This Friday, Saturday. Technically our first travel ball tournament.
By the way, involving yourself and acting like you are a part of the coaching team and shit just because your kid plays in it, like, it's a bit weird. Because I'm assuming that's what happens, right? I'm assuming just because his kid plays in the team, he probably helps out with coaching. But I don't think that counts to you being a part of the team. No? I don't like that.
Looking forward to that. T pitched over the weekend, balled out. Kids can't catch pop flies. He was going to have a no-hitter. And then kids drop pop flies. Very frustrating. Very frustrating. I got to sit around with other parents and pretend their kids aren't god-awful. I'm like, oh, look at him. He's like, at least he's trying. I'm like, yeah, he sure is. He sure is. Do you have a razor blade and a warm bath you can draw me? Thank you.
What a piece of shit. Does it even matter at that age if they're good or not? I don't know about you guys, but I remember some of my most cherished moments. Some of my most cherished moments were the times when I would go and watch my brothers play football, especially local area football tournaments. One in particular, where loads of the area kids, like mostly my younger brothers' age and shit, they had a little football tournament. I ended up managing my brother's teams, and we did this whole like tournament thing. We got to the final. We ended up not winning, unfortunately, but it was so fucking fun to go from, you know, playing in the group, quote unquote, group stages, progressing through, watching the other teams play, all the parents having fun, jumping, shouting, crying. Like, that was the fun part of it. Like, no one cared. The kids they're all terrible, of course. But the part of the fun was having this kid run through goal, the goal completely open, and he just kicks it and it ends up outside the park somehow, right? That was fucking hilarious. Like, and this guy's like criticizing other kids of their lack of ability, their lack of coordination, the lack of hand-eye coordination, the lack of technique, power, skill, talent. It's like, your kid's 10. Doesn't really matter, really, does it?
Bless you.
Underwood. It's called Underwood and Lopez. Underwood Family Farm.
Lopez.
Chappelle looking at Malik like, are you hearing this? One more time. Oh, Chappelle was very annoying, but his reactions were really good. He was an annoying guy, but his reactions were fucking amazing.
Bless you.
Underwood. It's called Underwood and Lopez. Underwood Family Farm.
Lopez.
Yeah, I don't get it. And you know what's going to happen, right? You know what's going to happen? As karma would have it, karmic retribution time. He's criticizing, or he's taking a piss out of parents who have kids who are not that gifted playing these sports. And most likely, when T gets older, he's going to reach a point where he's probably going to realize that he's not as maybe special as his dad thinks he is. So all of this stick that Brendan's giving other parents, he's probably going to end up receiving later down the line, because maybe T stands out, right? Maybe Tiger stands out now because he might be the best of that group or the best at his age range. But the older you get, the higher up you get, the quickly you realize how crappy you are, or not how not so good you are. I remember that's the first thing I realized. I remember when the highest level that I got to playing football was like Sunday league level, but there's like a level above that where you like play midweek football, or you play like Saturday football. That's like the level above Sunday league, and I think it's even the level just underneath semi-pro. But I remember going to a trial for that, like going to a trial for a football team that played Saturdays and sometimes played on Wednesdays, and you sometimes got paid, right? And I remember going to a trial, and I remember clearly realizing, oh shit, this ain't gonna be me, innit? As much as I love football, as much as I was good at it at Sunday league level, that extra level above, the quality, the talent gap was so evident and huge. I just remember how quickly the ball was moving, you know, like struggling just to keep up with the ball. Forget the fitness was on point. I could run up and down the pitch, but I couldn't get on the ball. Like every time the ball felt like it was like going in fucking fast forward. So you know, I don't wish that to happen to Tiger, but the way Brendan's going on with him, like eventually that will end up happening, you'd imagine. Especially with a sport like baseball, the older you get, the bigger people start getting and stuff, and you know, maturing or whatever else it may be. They're going to end up filling up a little bit more and catching up or closing that talent gap or whatever that T has at the moment. But yeah, it's just a shame we just can't have fun with it, you know? He's turning it all into a thing. That's just a weird thing about it. And just have fun with it. It's not that deep. Continuing on. Joey Twink of Violent DNA. What's this? Joe Rogan fled violent father for San Francisco gay scene. Now his estranged sister breaks her silence to tell a very different story about his path to $20 million. What? That's not a true story, is it? Who's his sister? I didn't know Joe Rogan's sister. Is that true? Oh, wow. Joe Rogan's sister disputes his story. Okay. Okay, there it's in. Okay, cool. Let's go Daily Mail. Let's read. I want to read this. Joe Rogan's got. So I think he's his sister with that dad that he hates, right? So I'm assuming this is a sister with that dad he hates, because I think wasn't Joe like he wasn't adopted. I think he's got a stepdad who he views as more of his dad, but his biological father I think he doesn't speak to. I don't think they get along. So this must be the sister from that, I'd imagine. Let's see this article. Joe Rogan fled violent father San Francisco's gay scene. Yo, his sister's doing him dirty, man. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, so that's the guy. So that's Rogan's actual dad, who he doesn't really like too much. So the article goes as follows: of all the controversial men Joe Rogan has encountered over the years, one appears to have had a darker impact than most. The quote: "My dad would have turned me into a fucking psychopath," said a 57-year-old podcaster once. Oh, fucking hell. He's 57, you know? Shit, I didn't know he's that old. "He was crazy. He was a psychotic person, someone who can't keep it together. I would watch him beat up guys at the bar. He was a karate guy." Rogan's... Dunno, man. He kind of sounds like Rogan, to be fair. He kind of sounds like Rogan. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. He kind of sounds like Rogan. Rogan's father is now a retired New Jersey cop in the 1980s, has vehemently denied the allegations. Indeed, they haven't been repeated since Joseph Sr.'s attorney sent Rogan a letter warning the defamatory statements in 2022. Oh, really? Rogan's dad sent him a fucking cease and desist. That's why we don't hear him talk about him anymore. Okay. But his claims of a violent upbringing have continued to raise eyebrows, not least from the Rogan's own half-sister. Rosa Rogan Lunelli. Yeah, she definitely made sure to make her name there, innit? Huh? She definitely kept the Rogan name. Rosa Rogan Lunelli, 46, has told the Daily Mail that she has never met her famous relative and angrily rejects claims that he has leveled against her elderly father. Wow. Look how fucked up families are. She's never met Joe. They're half siblings, and she's never met him. That's pretty crazy, bro. That is you're 46 years old and you've never met your half brother. I get, maybe meeting them once, cool, but never. Wow. Okay, there she is. Rosa. Ever since Rogan's receipt of attorney letter, he has no longer spoken about his claims of abuse. My family adamantly denies those claims. There have been no contact on Joe's part with wanting to meet our father, nor us. Okay, he's not going to meet you guys. He's not going to meet your dad. Come on, let's be for real. The dad ship has sailed. And sometimes things happen in households, in families that you don't see as well as a sibling. So he had a different relationship to the dad than probably she did. So let's continue. It's a point of regret for MAGA supporter Rosa, who says she felt proud when Rogan interviewed Donald Trump last October during a 3-hour conversation that helped prepare the president to White House. The quote says, "It was absolutely influential moment for the campaign where Joe interviewed Donald Trump before the election. Our family fully supports Donald Trump and his agenda, and what made it so influential is something that has never been done before. Joe has the ability to shape people's thoughts, feelings, and attitudes." Okay, for his podcast, so bringing Trump on was huge. Our family was happy to podcast was so successful. Oh, hold on, is that his wife? Wow, she's a lot more tanned, maybe a lot more olive, but she looks a little bit like Joe Rogan's wife, innit? She looks a little bit like Rogan's wife. She's more tanned and more olive. I think Joe's wife is more white, but they look kind of similar, innit? Huh. Rogan's got a type. So what is the truth of Rogan's extraordinary backstory? Born in Newark in 1967, Joseph Sr. and his mother Susan, Rogan's parents, split when he was 5. He and his mum then moved to San Francisco 2 years later, while his father remarried and had 2 daughters, Rosa and Bridget. Father and son have not spoken since. Wow. So he hasn't spoken to his dad since. So I'm imagining most likely Rogan's dad probably beat his mum, innit? That's usually what happens. If you completely cut contact with your dad, usually it's because you witness a lot of domestic abuse, whether it's emotionally, physically, and your dad is dead to you in your eyes, which makes sense. I mean, you put your hands on the mum, usually the kids are going to side with the mum. So it's understandable why Rogan doesn't talk to his dad anymore, because I'm assuming, again, I'm just assuming here, I'm just guessing, allegedly, it's not true, so don't send me this, please, Rogan Senior. But I got the feeling, based on how Rogan described his dad, that most likely Rogan's dad liked to use his, like to do a 12 to 6 elbows on his mum and shit. The young Rogan settled in the suburb of Haight Ashbury, which is described as middle of the hippie of San Francisco. His new neighbors were a gay couple who his mum would get naked with and play the bongos and smoke pot. Susan soon remarried herself with a hippie computer programmer who Rogan has never named publicly. Okay, cool. He does a good job of that, by the way. I do kind of rate that. I do rate that he keeps his private life very, very private. He goes out of his way not to talk too much about his wife, not to talk too much about his kids. The article says he's never publicly...
Powerful bunch.
Yeah, big up Coiler. Appreciate it, bro.
A lot of this nonsense is the doing of Gary the Numbers Guy. He tried to get on Rogan by throwing money on stage at Rogan's show. Rogan hates him, so weirdo Gary stalks him and did pod with his dad.
Who's Gary the Numbers Guy? Who the fuck is that? Big up Coiler. Who's that? Tell me in the stream chat. Who's Gary the Numbers Guy? Gary the Numbers Guy? Who the fuck is that? Gary the Numbers Guy. Who is that? Get us Gary the Numbers Guy. Which one is that? I don't know who that is. That podcaster. Gary the Numbers Guy. Let me know in the stream chat, Kylo. Well, go on. Who's Gary the Numbers Guy? Gary's Fresh and Fit's manager. To be fair, I've not. Okay, cool. Big up people in the stream chat. The white guy named Gary. Gary's a Fresh and Fits guy. Was that GG33? I have no idea who he is. On God, I'm not really in tune with the lore of Fresh and Fit. The only people I know from Fresh and Fit was obviously the main host and that like mixed race guy, kind of black guy who does the board, who's like the Jamie. That's the only ones. I don't even know what his name is, so I don't know the lore. Okay, cool. I didn't know about that thing about him throwing money on stage. Oh my God, bro. What a horrible way to try and get on Rogan. If there's one way where Rogan isn't going to respond well, it's something like that. Rogan definitely won't respond well to something like that. That was a horrible fucking strategy approach if you try to get on Rogan. Ah, okay. So now this guy is doing anybody that doesn't like Rogan, he platforms basically to kind of get back at him because he kind of felt embarrassed and rejected and shit. Okay, I get what you mean. It's on camera. I'll try to find it for Discord. Okay, cool. Big up Coiler. You're a G. I didn't know that, bro. Shit. Okay. Let's continue. That's Rogan and his wife, were they? At the Grand Prix in Texas last year. Cool. I also feel like he's stepping out his wife more in Texas. I wonder if he just feels more safe there. I wonder that's probably one of his security team, isn't it? That one or that one. I feel like I've seen way more pictures of him and his wife out and about in Texas than I ever did when he was in LA. Maybe it's on purpose. Describing his new life in SF on his podcast, so Rogan said, all of a sudden I'm living with this hippie guy in San Francisco around a bunch of gay people. I went from living with these Italian Jersey psychopaths to San Francisco peace and love. So that's probably why he was super liberal early on to begin with, right? He's not as liberal now, but it makes sense why he was back then. As a teenager, Rogan moved again to Newton, Massachusetts, where he struggled in new high school and took up karate to feel more confident. The quote says, I was really terrified about being a loser. That was my number one fear in life, he recalled. I was scared of the future. Martial arts gave me not just confidence, but also a different perspective of myself, what I was capable of. And I knew that I could do something I was terrified of. The quote says, I do not think I would have ever become who I am if I didn't learn martial arts at an early age. I think the best decision I ever made in my entire life was to immerse myself in something so incredibly difficult. Indeed, it was an experience that would prove instrumental in landing Rogan a gig in 2002 as Ultimate Fighting Championship commentator. Blah, 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 blah. Is there any more quotes from her, or just is this always waffle? Rogan passionate. Da, 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 da. Okay, cool. That's the only quote from her. Daily Mail do a good job of clickbaiting, innit? All this stuff is just like Rogan Wikipedia, and that one quote from her is right at the top. Okay. Fucking hell, Daily Mail. But yeah, so Rogan's sister is upset that Rogan doesn't talk to her, but you can't blame Rogan. If it's fuck the dad, then it's obviously fuck you too, you know? Because she's probably going to try to get him to meet the dad, you know? It's going to be awkward, so I get it. Maybe when the dad dies, he might want to rekindle a relationship with her, but it's kind of weird. She's 46 and she's never met him. Fucking hell. Brutal. Rogan doesn't play. Moving on. Bappa on the Bryce loss, long and bad. Let's see what Brendan has to say about the Bryce Mitchell. So, before Brendan has to say what he has to say, the only right thing to say about the Bryce Mitchell loss against Silva is to congratulate Silva on a dominant performance. That's the only thing to say. The way he tore Bryce Mitchell apart was pretty surprising to me. Maybe I'm not that familiar with Silva's game, but when I watched it back, I was taken aback by how easy he made that look. Like, he was like, when fighters smile and like start posturing and start like doing like swaggy shit in the ring, that's when you know you're in for a long day. When they start smiling, because they automatically can tell, okay, you're not on my level. Like, he was fighting against Bryce Mitchell like he was some YouTuber, some influencer. He was toying with him, bro. Spinning kicks and shit like crazy. Oh, yeah, it was fucking brutal. And it was really sad too, because there was a moment where Bryce Mitchell did a really well-timed takedown. He literally faked the punch and then boom, went under and took Silva by the legs, right? About to take him down. And as soon as he about to take him down, Silva, amazing jiu-jitsu, just boom, he got him into a guillotine. Because if I'm not mistaken, Silva went for a punch, he ducked, went for a takedown, then he got caught in the guillotine. So the thing that he does well, which is grappling, Silva's like, I don't care, I'm comfortable there too, because my jiu-jitsu and my strength is elite. And he just tore him apart on the feet, on the ground, and then eventually he got him with that choke in it. I don't know what that choke is. That's to be fair, that's, oh sorry, going back to the fucking guillotine. Did you watch the replay? If you zoom in, you can literally see his spine popping out from his neck with how much he was cranking that fucking guillotine. It was fucking awful. But that choke that Silva does to Bryce Mitchell to win the actual fight itself, that's one of my favorite chokes. It's so aesthetically pleasing. I'm not sure what the name of it is called, but it's so like, you're like, you know, you got your body, your shoulders facing their shoulder, you're flat on the ground, you're twisting it, you're cranking it. And I've seen some people roll. I've seen some people like twist on the floor to get like a better position. Like someone's trying to get out of it, you kind of keep rolling and rolling. You kind of look like a fucking alligator, like chewing on their prey. It's so fucking good. So the only thing to say in that particular contest is that Silva's fucking amazing. I'm glad to see, you know, Mitchell fucking lose. Back in the day, we always used to have that mantra of like, you know, punching Nazis in the face. So the fact that he's a fan of Adolf and he got fucking smoked is a good thing. But let's hear what Brenda has to say.
I'm sitting there with the family and friends, and I'm like, here we go. And then John Silva and Bryce Mitchell come out. And you're like, oh, shit, the people's main event is here. My main event was Paddy Pimblett Chandler, which we'll get to. But
always has to be different, by the way. Everyone else's main event was this match. I actually was looking forward to Chandler and fucking Paddy Pimblett. Yeah, because that was the main event. Like, you and everyone else. Jesus Christ. This need to be a contrarian is fucking hilarious.
Silva and Mitchell, you're like, here we go. This is the narrative. Like I said, this is supposed to be a disciplinary fight for Bryce Mitchell after saying all that crazy shit and thinking the earth is flat and wants to party with Hitler and all that crap. So they gave him Silva. And, you know, I went on record saying, you think this is discipline? This is a tough fight for Silva. This ain't no walk in the park. You look at his previous record. He's been taken down.
I don't think there's a single person who expected Silva to walk through Mitchell the way he did, Bryce Mitchell. I think everybody assumed that Bryce Mitchell is going to be a good fighter from most people. He's a really good fighter. When he, obviously, maybe not elite level, but he's really good. No one thought he was going to get mollywopped the way he got mollywopped. So this is a weird defense. Like, oh yeah, I know it's a fucking whatever fight, but he's a good fighter. It's like, no one thought he's not a good fighter. People just don't like the things that he said.
Bryce Mitchell can grapple. Like, this is a tough fight. But I said I won't bet on this if Bryce Mitchell's not getting sleep. And then you see very early on, that motherfucker got no sleep. I don't know if that's why he looked terrible.
Oh, my God. What the fuck is going... We're talking about sleep. Did you see that fight? He got put to sleep. He was sleeping with his eyes open, bro. I don't think he was even aware of what was going on when Silva was shouting in his face, screaming in his face while he was on the floor about he didn't get him a lot of sleep.
He looked awful. It's a very... Donnie, get Bubba. Donnie's all up in the cords. Get him out of there. See? Yeah, all up in the cords. There you go. Sorry about that, folks. Bryce Mitchell looked bad. He looked bad. Worst performance he's had yet. it takes a special character like a Colby. Not that, Colby didn't say anything about Hitler and anti-Semitic, but for Bryce Mitchell, what he's been going through and the backlash he's been getting, and rightfully so. He said some wild shit. But it takes a special type of fighter to be able to kind of silence all that and still get to work and pretend it's not going on, or even if it's going on, use it as motivation. For a guy like Bryce Mitchell, it wasn't that he used as motivation. It kind of hindered his camp, hindered his performance. His focus was off. The social.
What? That's your main takeaway? Your main takeaway that he's focused. Oh, really? You think maybe aligning yourself with the Nazi party and being an Adolf Hitler apologist might hamper your fight preparation? You think? Jesus Christ.
Media got to him. The naysayers got to him. He was almost submitted before he got caught.
I don't think it mattered, brother. I don't think it mattered. Come on, Brenda. I don't think it mattered. Joe Silva was going to win that fight. No matter if Bryce Mitchell had the perfect camp, got 12 hours of sleep every fucking day, he's never beaten Joe Silva. The gap in quality, the gap in talent, the gap in skill, the gap in power, and just strength alone. The strength alone. There was a period where, I don't know, there was a period I think in the second round, or maybe the end of the first round, where Bryce Mitchell is grappling Silva and trying to take him down. And Silva, I feel like, stays on his feet, but mostly with like strength and balance. He doesn't even like use technique. He kind of just stands up and refuses to go down through pure strength alone. There's no way he would have beat Joe Silva. He's just another level. I didn't know he was that good, but he showed it in that fight. For immediately, as soon as they kind of locked hands, as soon as they got to exchange a couple of early strikes, you could tell that Joe Silva was just at that level above. And he kind of made light work of Bryce Mitchell and kind of got him out there. He probably could have got him out there in the first round if he had maybe an extra minute.
Out that ninja choke, just the basics were not being checked off with his takedowns. It just looked awful. That's why I would never bet money on that fight, because Bryce has never been in this situation, and boy did he not answer the call. He didn't.
It's a good thing. No one wanted Bryce to win, bro. Based on what he said and how he's been going on, no one wanted him to win. He's been going down the wrong path anyway with this whole conspiracy theories and wilding out, saying crazy shit. But I think the Adolf Hitler stuff was just too much. It's just way too much, man. It's just unnecessary. Maybe he was doing it to troll. Maybe he was trying to take the lead of what Colby Covington has done with his career and try and get some fucking hype and to get some eyes behind him or on him, sorry. But he's already a little bit unhinged anyway. People didn't like him. And I think generally, maybe a little bit like Chandler, maybe because he's got a particular style. Maybe he's a little bit overrated anyway. Maybe he was never that good, I don't know. A lot of these guys were kind of coming into trouble, right? The Chandlers and the Bryce Mitchells, and having a bit of a run of bad losses. I'm starting to wonder if maybe, yes, they're facing some really high level opponents, and maybe they were just overhyped, a little bit. I think Bryce might be one of those type of guys. Even if he didn't say what he said about Nazis and shit, even if he wasn't as controversial, even if people didn't like his personality as much, if he was perfect in the octagon and and outside the octagon, I still think skill and talent wise, he's not really at that top level, And unfortunately, he met a top level guy in Joe Silva, and he kind of told him to get the fuck out of there.
To answer the call, this could have went a lot worse for him. Getting choked out unconscious, eyes open, that's bad. That's pretty bad. If Silva would have took this a little more serious, this what the UFC wanted. What Patty Pimlet did to Michael Chandler, that's what they wanted Silva to do to Bryce.
It doesn't matter, man. He still lost. Like, this guy's brain is like, it's fucking Play-Doh, isn't it? It's fucking Play-Doh. Like, he still lost. The main thing is that he lost, and maybe he didn't go to decision. That's probably the main thing. Got him out of there. It doesn't matter that his face wasn't completely bloodied and shit. It still was a pretty brutal way to lose. Let's not forget the guillotine before. He was in that position with his neck cranked for a while before he got his neck out of it. That probably took a lot out of him too. And then to get the other fucking submission, that's a lot of fucking pain and pressure being put on your fucking neck and shit. So he suffered in there. And he got hit with a spinning wheel kick, didn't he? Like
powerful bunch.
Yeah, big up Adesanya Aziz.
Bryce Mitchell, great guy, never met him, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Jesus Christ, saying Greg Gunner is hilarious. Look up his odysseys.
Mitchell, but Silva was kind of messing around. Like in the walkout, it's a jolly old good time. He's high-fiving. He keeps pushing this thing where he jumps on the cage and barks like a dog.
By the way, yeah, he's such a hater. He's such a he's got more hate on his face. He's got more of a disgusted look on his face for Joe Silva's in octagon theatrics and shit than he has for Bryce Mitchell being a literal Nazi.
I don't know if you saw. He asked the camera to do it once. He has photographers to do it once. He did it twice again. I'm like, okay, quit trying to put fetch on us, bud.
Tell Bryce Mitchell to quit trying to push Adolf Hitler and Nazis on us, bro.
You know, it's just not working. That's his thing. If Silva would have took this fight a little more, I think he, like Bryce Mitchell's takedowns, Silva was never in any jeopardy. He just shut all that shit down. It was so basic. So I just think Silva was just like, oh my God, dude. Like the striking wasn't there.
You know what I really liked about Silva's performance, by the way? I like that in every round, the first and the second, he tried to shake Bryce Mitchell's hand. You know, professionally tap. And Bryce refused. And then he just immediately, I think in the second round was the worst one. He went to put his hand out to shake his hand. Bryce ignored him. And then immediately, bang, kick to the fucking abdomen. It was so good. It was so good.
The movement was slow. The takedowns weren't set up. And he was just fucking around that first round. I'm like, God, dude, just get to working.
Eddie D, I can't do that. No, I have to say that for tomorrow. I can't do that now. That's already making me cringe. Just reading it, already made me cringe. I already cringed inside. Oh my fucking God. Big up Eddie D. Have you seen that Jeremiah Watkins is now doing country music songs as ads for bagel shops? It's called Forget the Fork on YouTube. That sounds fucking horrendous, but I'm going to copy and paste what you said and I'm going to save it for tomorrow. But that sounds absolutely horrible. Jeremiah Watkins, man. God almighty, brother. You're better than that. You're better. Is he better than that? Yeah, I think he is. I quite like Jeremiah Watkins. Okay, thank you, Eddie D. I'm sure it's going to be horrendous, but thank you anyway. Jesus Christ. Ay, 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 ay.
You're going to starch this dude. You're going to fucking starch this cat. Finally, by the second round, it started to land. It started to get a little more comfortable. And the chokes were there. Anytime Bryce, even the first round, anytime Bryce went for a takedown, the submission was there from the jump. And Silva would have saw that. If he wasn't distracted by all this hype. Now, both of them don't have Bryce has more experience. Obviously, fought to a period, but neither of them have experience at this level, this magnitude of a fight. Again, chalk it up to Silva's family putting a spell on Bryce Mitchell, him not getting...
What the fuck is this guy talking about? Yo, he really likes Bryce Mitchell, innit? I wonder what it is about Bryce that Brendan loves. Brendan really likes his Bryce Mitchell kid. He really fucking likes him. Jesus Christ, what an insane cope.
Getting sleep, chalk it up to whatever you want, but Bryce just was not ready for the moment. He wasn't. And what's crazy, too, is Bryce Mitchell had the fan support. Man,
No, he didn't. It's just trolling, bro. He had the fan support. If he would have won, the comments on social would have been fucking brutal. He didn't have the fan support. People just in the stadium. Why not? It's fun. It's fun to troll. So it's fun to ironically cheer him, especially when he pops his head out from a fucking guillotine. This guy is fucking crazy.
He was gonna. I thought he was gonna be a heel in this fight with all the wild shit he said, but turned out he was kind of a baby face. He was kind of the fan favorite. He was getting cheered. They're chanting USA. That ain't the one to do it, man. He just got fucking mollywopped.
Yeah, I don't know. What a strange... It's almost like he's complimenting and giving Joe Silva his props through gritted teeth. He doesn't really want to do it, you know? He doesn't really want to give Joe Silva any props. He seems to be in love with Bryce Mitchell for some reason. I'm not sure why. And I think he's had Bryce Mitchell on Food Truck Diaries, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know if he sees himself in Bryce Mitchell, because Bryce Mitchell comes across a little bit, you know, a little bit double-digit IQ. Maybe he sees himself a little bit in him or something, but yeah, weird takeaway, weird conclusion, weird review, weird fucking, you know, way to kind of summarize what happened in that fight, to be honest. But hey, that's Bappa for you. Chin spoils Bapper. Chin spoils Bapper.
Here's another quick one. This is Anthony Pettis talking about that iconic kick on Benson Henderson. And there's a cameraman on the cage. You know when he jumped up and he hit his foot on the cage? Apparently he hit the cameraman's nuts.
Makes it even better.
Yeah, exactly. Check it out.
The guy who's recording on the cage, I kicked him in the nuts, and then I kicked Ben in the face with the same foot. So the camera guy's like,
That's pretty funny. That's pretty cool.
cameraman.
I didn't notice that. That's hilarious.
Look at
Brendan, anything? Anything, Brendan? Brendan, are you awake? Brendan, anything? Brendan?
So when I did that kick,
Brendan? Audio is
So
king.
that adds to that moment.
Brendan? Audio is king, Brendan.
So back to John Silva.
Jesus Christ. Pure silence from Brendan. No commentary as he's watching it. No little anecdote from himself, from his previous experience, or maybe a story that he remembers from another fighter who had maybe the similar type of thing that happened to them. He's just sat there in dead silence. Dead fucking silence. Just watching the screen. Bare minimum boy. Waiting for fucking Chin to load up all the news. All the clips. Fucking hell. This show is brutal, bro. And remember, that's how you have to give him props. I have to give Brendan props for the scam. He managed to get fucking Showtime to pay him a check for this, you know. Showtime paid him a salary for the show. He was on salary. He was getting a monthly, maybe bi-weekly check from Showtime for this show at one point. This level of a show. And it was maybe a little bit better, more effort, like maybe say 10%, but it was the same type of show. He was getting paid. He was on salary for this shit. Wow. he really made off with the bag. You have to give the guy props. He did the damn thing. He did the damn thing. I'm not gonna lie. He did the damn thing because, yo, it's so bad. Blame the team. I wanted to quickly apologize. Last night I referred to President Bukele of El Salvador as President Bukaki. That's hilarious. This was the fault of a spell check and not me. When you type a word, a lot of spell check will start to change the words that are close to it. I will be complaining to Apple. Is this real? Is this real though? Is this a fake person? Representative Jack Kimball. Why are you writing the word Bukaki so much? Probably a staffer. This is great. It's not my fault. I did everything right. I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct. First is Apple's fault. Then it's somebody from the team's fault. Classic Brendan as well, by the way. Brendan loves that. It's the team. It's a team. It's a team. Brendan refused to say wife, partner, or wife.
Sean Silva was back here, and he asked me to ask you this. His goal is to get
Powerful bunch.
Yo, big up NJ.
Baba just sitting there like a mindless turd, bro.
Yeah. It's like, you know, from doing this particular stream and other shows all the time and watching a bunch of stuff, you know, it takes some effort to do the stuff we do. It's not always easy. But the thing that really makes it easy to dunk on Brendan is that he acts like he's the most professional, hardworking content person, podcaster out. Like, he makes it seem like no one could touch him. He's working super hard, double this, sets and reps, all this, all that malarkey. But then when you see him actually doing his quote unquote work, it's always the bare minimum. The bare minimum. He doesn't record himself. He has a nice, you know, studio that he obviously he's hard work paid for, but Chin handles all the fucking recording, all the editing, all the uploading. All he has to do is sit in front of a microphone. He probably doesn't even turn the volume up on his mic. He probably doesn't even turn the volume up on his mic, up or down. He gets Chin to do it for him. Like, hey, this sounds a bit low. Can you turn it up for me, please? Yet he'll go and start talking about how hard he works when in actuality he just sits there and waits for Chin to tell him what to say, or wait for Chin to give him news to kind of react to. And his reactions these days especially are even worse than before. At least before he tried to pretend and tried to play up the whole content thing. Now he just sits there like really doing the bare minimum, like clocking in, clocking out. It's kind of brutal because it seems like he's not having fun. Yeah, he's getting paid and he's living a quote unquote good life, I guess, but it doesn't actually seem like he enjoys what he does at all. And it's like, at some point, what's the point of doing this type of a job if you're not going to enjoy it? If you're just doing it so you can avoid having a real job, it's like, it's a bit pointless, you know? Like, at least do it because you enjoy doing it. You enjoy talking about the things that you talk about. But he seems to be really, really just like going through the fucking motions. It's really weird, man. But hey, I guess that's what happens when you're like when you're an OG, I guess. Big up NJ.
Partner and a
Gay.
And he offered to make you
Partner,
his man
his
at
wife,
wedding
bitch,
if you would pay for
his
the wedding.
girlfriend, his fiance.
Well, wait a minute. So,
Is there anything more lame than partner?
You see what I mean about this thing that he does? I wonder if this is psychological. This thing that he does where he'll mock somebody for doing something that he does himself without realizing that he does it himself. But he does it quite often. Like, he has these strong opinions on what he has done himself, but he's doing it in the voice of mocking others without knowing that he does it himself.
Only really gay people talk like, that's my partner, you know?
I think they're trying to cover all bases, like just in case.
Not really. A lot of gay people also say boyfriend and girlfriend.
Might be.
So gay.
I know. Oh,
Brendan being edgy, I guess.
this.
I'm not
Brendan refuses to say.
And then he looks over at me. I'm waiting for my girl. She's in the bathroom. I'm waiting for.
Yeah, this was like By the way, I've heard somebody say in the street. No, let me just play. Let me play it so I don't stop rabbiting.
I was watching. My girl was watching. Say it. Like even my girl now, I'll come home and her and her mom be cooking. And just say it.
you ate a pepperoni pizza?
Oh, sorry. I got the sound is really low too. Sorry, let me replay again. The sound's really low.
Sean Silva was back here, and he asked me to ask you this: is to get married to his partner in a
gay,
church, and he offered to make you
partner,
his man,
his wife, bitch,
if you would pay for
his
the wedding.
girlfriend, his fiance.
Well, wait a minute. So,
is there anything more lame than partner? Only really gay people talk like, that's my partner, you know?
I think they're trying to cover all bases, like just in case he might be.
So gay.
I know. Oh, this.
I'm not gonna say anything. And then
Yeah, it should be back to normal now, ADZ. Yeah, I had to lower it because the other clip was a bit too loud.
he looks over at me. I'm waiting for my girl. She's in the bathroom. I'm waiting for her. I was watching. My girl was watching. Say it. Like even my girl now, I'll come home and her and her mom be cooking. And just say it.
you ate a pepperoni pizza?
Because my girl had the emergency C-section.
So somebody said in the Reddit, which I never knew was a thing. I never knew this was a thing, but somebody said in the Reddit that allegedly this whole like calling your wife your girl, and not calling her by her, not saying that she's your wife aloud, is a thing that guys do sometimes as a way to kind of trick your brain so you don't feel guilty if you cheat a lot. I didn't know that was a thing. I found out by reading that thread on the Reddit of this particular post. People saying, yeah, I used to say that myself when I was younger, as a way to kind of, not admit to myself that I have this serious person that I'm with, like a girlfriend or whatever. So if I went out and cheated, I wouldn't feel as guilty. And I'm like, oh, but then that makes him look worse because these guys are admitting they did that when they were younger. But this guy's got a full-blown wife, a proper wife with a ring and 3 kids, and he still says it. Like, why are you saying it? Is it like to be cool, or are you literally doing it so you can kind of condition yourself so you don't feel bad when you go out and, score some addies and baddies? It's pretty fucking insane. Honestly, it's so fucking wild. Actually, let me read some of the posts. I think it's the top replies. I was like, I was like, wow, I did not know, because I know some
powerful
people do that.
Bunch.
Yeah, big up A Martinez. I appreciate you.
Yes, I did that as a 20s guy. Compartmentalize guilt.
Exactly. Compartmentalize guilt. Yeah, it's so fucking wild. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know. Because I've been a man. I've been a man myself. I've been out in the streets, and I don't know. I just did the dirt, innit? I don't think I thought too deeply about preparing my brain to do something bad like that. You just do the action and deal with the guilt later. But the prepping yourself to do some scumbag shit is mad. But some people admitted it here. Let me read the thread. Let me read it to you because I saw somebody say it. I was like, well, yeah, here we go. See some of the top posts on here. Look at that, 210 upvotes. 210 upvotes. So a lot of men connect with it. This guy says here, I did this in my early 20s. I would not refer to women who were obviously my girlfriend as my girlfriend. Really healthy stuff. Definitely not indicative of larger underlying personality issue. Wow. Wow. Another person says, I did that as well. It's so I could sleep with other women and act like I'm not cheating. Since I've never said you were my girlfriend. Exactly what Papa is doing, except he's 42. Exactly. I'm about to say, that sounds like the rationale of somebody that's like a teenager or like in your early 20s. That makes sense to you when you're that young. But when you're like 30 plus, 40 plus, dicey. Another person says, yeah, that's what it was for me as well. And because you're not acknowledging, because once you acknowledge that they're your girlfriend, it inevitably adds some degree of emotional attachment or at least emotional responsibility for both of you. Same here. Another person says, but in this case it's the alleged wife, which means he's allegedly already took the vows and everything, unless of course Papa and Mexican are not actually married, as the cat speculated. Papa lies about everything. No, they are married. They are actually married. Anyone else could admit the same thing? Cats are so speculated. Grown men with children calling, yeah, exactly. Grown man with children still calling his wife my girl is hilarious. Delia was the same way. Yeah, true. Delia used to do it too. Delia was the same way. I don't know if that's changed. No, definitely Delia was the same way, but now he calls her by her name, or he'll say his wife. You know, Delia does that, but I think that's part of his like counseling, you know, or whatever he's doing at the moment now, his therapy or whatever. But he definitely says her name, or he'll call her the wife, you know, but he won't say the girl. Yeah, but yeah, crazy, isn't it? Crazy. If she referred to him as my dude, exactly, big up Young Old Vibes. If she referred to him as my dude, will he be okay with that? Of course he wouldn't. Yeah, big up A Martinez. Yep, you never said we were together. It makes it easier for you to talk to somebody else. Exactly, yeah. It always gives you a fucking, you know, a pull-out thing. Big up a job for MIA. Big up AZ. I just saw Rogan's sister, and wow, yeah, I like that. Oh, but big up Koila. I forgot to mention. Koila said in the stream chat that allegedly that picture that we saw that is not representative of what she looks like. Let me actually see if we can get her up on social. Actually, allegedly Koila said that she does not look like that. So let's see if we can find her Instagram. Rosa Rogan Lunelli. Let's see if she's gone. Is she on IG? She must be on IG, right? Is that her? Let's see if this is her. Lunelli 22. Yeah, this is her, right? Yeah. So she's got a professional IG account. Is this one? But her actual account is private, unfortunately. Her professional account is this one. Rosanelli artist. Okay, so she's a makeup artist. Yeah, we're not going to find out anything about her here because these are mostly going to be her clients and stuff, isn't it? New Jersey makeup artist. Yeah, we're not going to get much of her because this is going to be all her clients. Unless she's here. Is she here? Rosa, no, she's not here. This is someone's wedding. We're not going to get any pictures of her here, are we? I don't know what she looks like, but yeah. Actually, let's just maybe she comes up on Google Images. Actually, does she come up on Google? Okay, cool. There we go. Yeah, maybe that's more what she looks like. There, this picture. Maybe that one. Maybe that's more evidence of what she actually looks like. That one there. Yeah, that's a very New Jersey couple, isn't it? I haven't even been to New Jersey many times, but that looks like a very New Jersey couple. Very, very New Jersey coded. But yeah, I guess that's what she looks like. And there's another one there as well. That's her in the hat, I think, there. So yeah, that's Rogan's sister. Interesting. Rogan's siblings or Rogan's family and his dad, they look way more Italian than what he looks like, innit? Or am I bugging? Rogan looks, is that her? Oh, that's her there. Maybe that's her. Ah, so she may have put on some pounds. Maybe that's her. Maybe that's her here. Don't Rogan's family look a lot more Italian than what he looks like? Or am I bugging? Because that's Rogan's dad, right? And that's the sister. Rogan looks way more Caucasian than his family. His family look way more Italian than he does. Anyway, let's move on. Trug guy. What's this about? Trug guy. That's hilarious. That's actually a nicer car than all the cars Brendan has, maybe with the exception of the Hummer. At least he's got some personality. It looks a little bit quirky. You get me? I don't actually mind that. Inspirational message from Papa. This is a screenshot from Brendan's. What is that? His Instagram or is that Facebook? What is that account? That must be Facebook, right? So Brendan uploads on his Facebook account, like stories and shit. That's pure loser readout behavior. If you've got a Facebook account and you upload stories on there, give your head a wobble. Okay, keep them on Instagram. Keep them off of WhatsApp, by the way, because I see people uploading stories on WhatsApp, like also loser behavior. Leave your stories on fucking Snapchat and Instagram. Don't put stories on fucking Facebook. Please, grow up. But Brendan's got his Facebook things like, it's got, what's the screenshot here say? Do crackheads say I can't get high today because I'm broke? No, they make it happen. Don't let a crackhead try harder than you. What? Huh? Okay. Cool. Okay, let's move on. Tfatk K time. Tfatk K time. Tfatk K time. Crackhead motivation. Okay, cool.
225, 35 and a half.
35 and a half at the end of my workout.
At the end of your workout.
It was deadlift day and pull-up day, and I thought, you know what? Fuck it. Let's end on 225. And I don't use spotters. I think spotters are for gays. And so then I did 225. And
so
on 35.
Spotters are for gays, which is a redacted statement to say in the first place. But then he always puts weights on the barbell that he can't do comfortably without a spotter. Makes sense.
The old arm was like, I don't think so, dude.
Yeah.
That one where I'm sitting on the bench with my face. It almost fell on my neck.
Shouldn't you have a spotter?
No. See the young guy in the, well, he's not a young guy, he's the older guy in the back with his trainer. He was not paying attention. They thought I needed.
So already you can tell from Brendan's tone and how he's referring to that old guy that was trying to help him out because he nearly dropped the barbell on his neck. You can tell he doesn't really respect the guy because he's got a trainer, and plus the trainer's a woman. So already Brendan was judging that older dude because he was in the gym getting trained by a female PT. So that probably explains why when the guy came over to try and help, he looked at him like, what the fuck, what are you doing? You know? He gave him that kind of look of disgust because he was already hating the dude before he did the workout. He kind of looked at him like, the fuck, what are you doing? This older dude working with a woman, you're a man, dude. You know, he is a real douchebag, this Brendan guy. And he wonders why people don't like him. He wonders why people on the internet don't like him.
Needs help, sir. I got this. Nice guy though. Never met him before.
I love it. We got a real life. We got a real life in the fucking flesh. Nice guy. Never met him.
Never met him before. I need help, sir. I got this. Nice guy though. Never met him before.
It's a lot of weight. 30. 31.
Callan counted them as well, like a fucking cock that he is, cheering on his boy. 31. Like, shut up, man. Just watch the fucking. Like, the fact that Brendan makes them watch his Instagram workout videos on the podcast is already a big red flag anyway. It's already fucking insane, right? Like, being on a podcast and making other people watch your clips is mad. If they maybe bring it up in conversation, oh my god, let's go to Instagram, that's one thing. But you bringing up your own clips and sitting there watching them in pure silence, psycho behavior, cringe behavior, no thank you.
2.
No, you're off by 2, B.
3.
I think you're off by 2.
Oof.
You there?
Ah.
That guy came to help.
Hitting your chest. That doesn't hurt?
No.
No.
That guy came to help at my mercy.
Damn. He was probably counting. He was like, geez.
No, I don't think he was paying attention. They probably looked over and saw me struggling. I got it. There's always that lower when I set it on. I never use spot.
I mean, I got it. You nearly didn't have it. That's just like normal gym etiquette. Like, I don't think I've ever been in a gym and somebody I've seen do that, and the person that gets helped is upset. They're usually embarrassed. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I've nearly fucked up my whole life and nearly fucking changed the trajectory of my life, or snapped my neck in two because I wanted to vein lift or ego lift. I've never seen somebody react angrily. Honestly, in my entire life of going to a gym, I don't think I've seen anybody.
Powerful bunch.
Yeah, big up Asada Aziz, appreciate it. Blah, blah, blah.
Hey, chin pull up me working out yesterday. Check this out, guys.
Honestly,
Coolest guy in the room.
so embarrassing. So embarrassing. Literally what he said. Hey guys, check this out. Look at me working out. Like, who does that? What normal functioning person sits there and lets like you'd be embarrassed. Like, let's just fast forward it. Like, what the fuck? Who does that? It's so fucking weird. Big up Asada Aziz.
Spotters.
I would have helped you too. You don't
Secure my hips.
You don't use spotters?
Never.
Just
Do
use
you?
a spotter.
No, never.
I don't really have a.
Oh, you don't
view on
need it. Yeah, no, I never do.
But that's and so you'll do one day you'll do pull-ups and then you'll do deadlift.
Yeah, that's what I
and
did
then
this
you'll
morning.
do and you usually
Then I'll end on I'll just
Something.
burn out on 225 every day.
Really.
And then if it's bench day, I do 225 as many times as I can, kind of, and then 315 or 365, then 225.
There's that philosophy that says, farmers work every single day and they're country strong, and you can do that. Like they always say, you should take 48 hours off and all that. But I guess if you're bodybuilding, maybe.
I don't believe in any of that bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just go to.
Of course, you don't believe in any of that bullshit. It's funny, isn't it? Like a former professional athlete has no like understanding or curiosity behind like sports science, because you'd imagine usually guys who are like not as talented, usually people who are not super talented tend to kind of dig a bit deep into that sort of stuff so they can maximize their very limited talent and get the most out of their career usually. But if you're super talented and gifted, you usually don't really give a fuck because you just you're gifted genetically. You can kind of take the piss and it not bother you too much. But Brendan was a very mediocre athlete, judging by the numbers, judging by what he did, judging by his CV. It's fair to say that he was a pretty mediocre athlete, but he still has the mindset of like, nah, I don't care about all the other stuff.
Powerful bunch.
Big up Angel.
Oh, cool. More vague middle America pandering rinks.
Yep. Of course. Yeah. Farm. Yeah, exactly. Farm. Rinks is in his farming era. Agricultural Callan. Farmhand Callan. Can you imagine? Farmhand Callan, bro. He'll die the first day, bro.
Work, dude. Maybe if you're maxing out, you'd need rest to reset. If you're like doing like 3-rep heavy max. I don't know.
I would imagine maxing is something's gonna pop. It's always precarious when you're doing it.
If you're doing like 1 rep max.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah, that's where it gets dicey.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to do that every
I
day.
took Donnie the groomers. They squeeze. He has a fresh haircut. I hate when he comes from the groomers because he looks like a poodle. It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
But they squeeze.
Because poodles are gay, by the way. You know that, right? Having spotters is gay. Having a poodle is gay. What else is gay according to this guy? He's so worried about being labeled gay, yet he wears what he wears, right? Looks the way he looks. Gets fucking lip fillers and whatever else in his lips and shit. But it's really important to make sure that you lift heavy weights with no spotter and that you have a dog. I don't know. What's he going to do? Cut his dog bald, dye his hair a certain color, get piercings? I don't know.
Their anuses.
They empty their anal glands.
Yeah.
What happens if they don't do that?
Have you ever seen what happens when their anal glands leak?
I can tell you what happens. It happened to my dog. My first
How old
dog,
is he?
Pepper, he was at the time, I think like 11.
When does asshole start leaking at 11?
So it didn't leak. There was just one day we couldn't find him. And then I look and he's in the corner of the house, like shaking. And I look around his butt and I could see like something had kind of exploded. There was almost a second butthole. And we ran him to the vet and they're like, yeah, so this exploded. We need to puncture a hole on the other side, drain the other one, and then bandage it up. Like some dogs.
Since when is this a thing where they gotta milk their asshole?
It's some
When's
dogs.
this? Since when is this a thing?
I don't know. I think it's what it is. I believe in the wild, that's how you spread your scent. So if you're a male dog, see if all dogs have anal.
Hold on. See, why do they milk dogs' anal glands?
Milk. Fuck, that milk pronunciation drives me nuts. Drives me fucking nuts. It's almost like he does it on purpose. Just pronounce the word properly. Like, what's wrong with you, bro?
See if all dogs have anal.
Hold on. See, why do they milk dogs' anal glands?
Well, no, I think why do they have anal glands? I think it's because that's how they mark their territory.
But I've had dogs before and it was never a thing. Is this like a new trend? Dogs have anal glands known as anal sacs.
Yeah.
Produce strong smelling fluid used for scent marking and potential for lubrication during shitting, aiding communication with other dogs.
Interesting.
Okay. So since when is it a trendy thing to milk their anuses?
Because otherwise, if they get too full,
they explode.
It'll explode on your rug.
But then what do they do in nature?
They rub it on the ground or on their on a couch.
So why don't these dogs do it in real life? Like rub it on the grass.
You don't want your dog rubbing those anal glands on your couch.
Not on my couch. Do it on the grass.
Rug.
I've seen the dog like scooting on the ground.
Might do it on the rug. So those dogs are indoor dogs a lot of times.
So if they squeeze it, if they squeeze that poop juice out, then they won't rub their ass on your couch.
Well, if they do, it won't get. It stinks.
Some dogs can do it on their own. Bigger breeds
shit.
can.
Yeah.
Little ones have more trouble. And I have a friend, she's like, she's a nurse. And she's like, I'm not paying anyone to do it. She does it herself.
Hard
and
pass.
It's vile.
That's one thing that's
vile.
Worth the money.
And Brian is right. It stinks.
That's when you're really cutting pennies. When
I
you're
would love to take a look at your anal cavity to see if you have any sacs that I can drain. Just as your friend, I'd like to get it up in there. I've never gotten up in your starfish.
I didn't even know they were doing it. And Joanna was like, the process with the contents of anal sacs are looking at it. So the anus are manually emptied to prevent blockage, potential problems.
Yeah.
Has this always been a thing though?
I've seen all.
Didn't he always have dogs though? He seems really clueless. He seems almost novice. He seems almost like a first-time dog owner with the amount of questions and the lack of knowledge that he has about dogs. Given that he was somebody that always grew up with dogs. It seems it almost seems like he was lying about that growing up with dogs thing. With the amount of questions, with how confused he is. Look at the face of confusion. Utterly confused and bewildered.
Yeah, like most of the dogs here, they do it on the carpet where they,
they rub their
they're just like sliding with their front paws.
That can be just their asshole itches.
Oh, okay. Big up NJ. He's trying to make it to work. He's trying to say all these things they do for dogs are not necessary. It's like a work. It's like a liberal agenda. Oh, Jesus Christ! They're trying to make our dogs non-binary. What?
Yeah. Or they're trying to get rid of that anal blockage. But
or they have worms. So.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But Joanna was like, I was like, when's Sonny get back? She's like, he's always exhausted, especially when they do the anal gland thing. Like, huh? She's like, she was like, they have to squeeze his anal gland. I'm like, what the fuck? That's a thing? How much is that?
Yeah, you gotta release the anal glands. I never heard of that in grooming, but I've never had a dog groomed.
Well, they all do it now. Yeah.
I've never gotten my dog groomed, I don't think.
I don't. Yeah,
when you have
either.
German shepherds or corgis, the amount of
hair?
just hair, yeah.
Well, that's why you'd want to get it groomed because they get rid of a lot of that excess hair. But with him, if we don't, like, the hair runs into his eyes and shit.
Had a good talk with there's a little bit of a segue, but not really. Talk with a homicide detective.
Yeah, please do, man. What a boring topic. What a boring fucking topic. If he's not talking about his fucking kids who no one gives a shit about, apart from him, he's out here talking about his dogs. That he allegedly had dogs when he was younger, but doesn't know a fucking thing about dogs. Thank you, Callan, for changing the subject. Thank you.
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah, always cool, right?
Well, it depends.
Well, he was interesting because he was saying that the organized crime is mostly about robbery. Murder you can't get away with. He was talking about how they catch people.
What? Who can say that again?
Well, he was interesting because he was saying that the organized crime is mostly about robbery. Murder you can't get away with. He was talking about how they catch people.
Organized crime's sex trafficking.
It's a lot of.
Yo, this podcast is like brilliant, isn't it? This podcast might be one of the best podcasts in the world. It might be up there with one of the best podcasts in the world. It's a real meeting of the minds. It's mind expanding shit. It's the kind of stuff that will stop you in your tracks. That'll make you question the reality around you. That'll make you question your place on this earth. Their place in society at large. That'll make you challenge all your preconceived notions. Tfatk K. Tfatk fucking K.
Stuff.
Yeah.
But the reason in this country you're not seeing a lot of murders is because it just creates a lot of heat and it's really hard to get away.
There's cameras everywhere.
Because they'll literally watch cameras and they'll be like, oh, that Tesla drove by that guy.
They can track everything.
They track the Tesla. They go, can I look at your SIM card? They're like, oh, there's his face.
It's pinging off the cell towers like it's a nightmare.
He says, you leave every. I was trying to go through all the perfect crimes.
Digital.
I was like, all right, here's what if I do this? I kill somebody.
By the way, Brendan forgot what digital had a mind fart and didn't finish the sentence. He went to say digital footprint, but he forgot. He just stopped. That was fucking brilliant. He just stopped. Digital.
It's pinging off the cell towers like it's a nightmare.
He says, you leave every. I was trying to go through all the perfect crimes.
Digital.
I was like, all right, here's what if I do that? You leave every. I was trying to go through all the perfect crimes.
Digital.
I was like, all right, here's what if I do this? You leave every. I was trying to go through all the perfect crimes.
Digital.
I was like, all right, here's what if I do this? I kill somebody. I take a moped. I'm like, I go right to the beach. I get in the water and a boat's waiting for me. And he's like, okay, you can try that. You go ahead and try that. But I got the Coast Guard and you got to dock somewhere.
Yeah,
it's 1,000 ways to do it. Also, what are you going to do with that moped?
What did he say though? Stuff that we don't.
Well, he was talking about how anytime you have a really expensive house in this city, there are crews of professionals.
Oh, yeah.
And you experience this. Crews of professionals that will come into your house. They just watch, wait till you're gone.
Or they follow you.
Or they follow you.
If you have a nice car, they'll follow you.
Yeah, but they usually don't. That's low grade shit.
Yeah, because they know
the pros are like, you don't want so if somebody's in the house and you do a home invasion, you can do 20 to life. If nobody's in the house, you'll do 7 years. So it's not, and if you have an alarm, it's fine. They got about 3 minutes to work. Right. Yeah. So there's a whole, I guess, network of people that jewelry, cash, guns, they take everything. Yeah, in LA.
Especially in these parts, yeah.
And it's really hard to stop because they're so good at it. Mm-hmm. And they just watch. But we were talking about dogs, and he said,
fuck, get to the point, brother. Jesus Christ. I forgot we were talking about dogs and that. Get to the fucking point.
If you have like certain dogs, like a German Shepherd or something, you can, they'll choose the next house.
Okay.
So he was on the
sometimes.
Yeah, he was on the correct.
Because Kevin Hart had, I want to say 4 German Shepherds and 2 Cane Corsos, and was not an issue. Because they either tase them.
Yeah, they're pros.
Or they put them to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Okay.
You got his house robbed?
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
He told me all the celebrities get their houses robbed.
Yep.
All of them. It's constant. He was talking about Whitey Bulger. Yeah, see, this is why I knew I'd get your.
I got my black belt in Whitey.
No, I get
Powerful
your
bunch.
Do you know what they found?
Yo, big up Assad.
The thing about these crews be they'll follow you be and when they go digital. Isa prom bubba. Just ask Kevin Hart. He had all the dogs and they still went digital.
Your fucking Brendan impressions are so good. It's a problem. It's a problem. Oh, my fucking chest. Sorry. Too many rows. I can't laugh too much. Too many sit-ups. Big up Assad disease.
Walls.
Money.
They found
gold.
$700,000 in cash.
Yep.
They found 68 loaded guns, and they found 7 hand grenades.
Yeah, in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how they got them down?
They got him down from his wife, went to a nail salon, and she was a chatty Cathy.
Yes, but he also, the way they got him, they knew they probably have some weapons. You know,
he was in a white tracksuit.
Yeah, they said to him,
he refused to go to the ground.
We just hit your car. Sorry, I'm your neighbor. I hit your car. I'm really sorry. He comes down with his wife, and they just closed in.
But how gangster is he? He was in a white tracksuit. They're all down the ground. He's like, "You're gonna have to shoot me."
Is that what he said?
Yeah, they're like down the ground. He's like, "Not happening. I'm in a white velour tracksuit."
Yeah, he
said
said
down on the ground. He's like, "I'm telling you, you're gonna have to shoot me."
Yep, he said. He goes, "You guys." He goes. He was in the car, back of the car. He's spitting on the floor, going, "Fuck you guys. You guys are just lucky. If you would come to me instead of using your bullshit to get me down, I would have shot every one of you motherfuckers." He was just so angry.
He was tough, man.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, he was a sociopath. Things for him changed when his son died. He got the murders in Boston went through the roof, like up 80% after his son died.
What?
Yep.
Oh, so you know your whitey shit.
Oh yeah.
Now his brother.
I love Brendan. Like Brendan being balls deep into like serial killers and shit is his way to like prove that he's intelligent. And I think, to be honest, some of the dumbest people you know, some of the most annoying people you know, are really balls deep into true crime and serial killer shit, innit? Think about it. I can think of plenty of people within my group of friends and associates. Some of the most clueless, dumb, uninformed, low IQ, emotionally stunted, mentally stunted people in the world are very, very into fucking true crime. And they think because they know shit and, they remember parts of stories about people's heinous fucking crimes against people, and that somehow shows that they're intelligent. Fucking wild.
Brother was mayor?
Yeah, his brother's mayor. And his brother had to step down because even when he was on the run, they tapped the phones and found out his brother was helping him. Like, in communications, knew where he was, wiring him money. It's a brother. He didn't get arrested, but he had to step down.
It's your brother. It's your brother.
Yeah.
Isn't
that wild, though? One brother's running for governor.
They've done a movie, I think, but they haven't done the movie on it. Black Mass was
Black
awesome.
Mass is the movie.
But they didn't really didn't bring his brother in.
Oh, yeah, they did. Oh, man, Black Mass is fantastic.
It's a great movie.
Top 5. Black Mass did
If you have any questions about Johnny Depp being able to play a gangster, how good is he? I mean, Whitey Bulger.
Departed too?
That's him right there. That's the real Whitey.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson's character in Departed was based off Whitey Bulger.
Okay, anything more?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great too.
Great topic, by the way.
Whitey Bulger's a bad
very current. Great.
How about the cop who grew up with Whitey Bulger, the FBI agent, and then made him an accomplice, and then was like hiding things and giving Whitey Bulger information about the Italian mafia, and then letting Whitey Bulger get away with everything? He got life. They put him away for life, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he got life. And just the huge black eye at the FBI agency in Boston. It's one of the reasons nobody trusts him. Because Whitey Bulger was infiltrating the FBI.
The thing is, these guys all grew up in the neighborhood.
The Boston boys, yeah.
Yeah, they're all Boston.
Riveting content.
Southies.
And so they
some of the best stuff I've ever heard.
They all know each other.
Yeah, his back.
This show's definitely going to survive the Austin move.
There was I know just from our boy Stevie,
they looked up to Whitey Bulger, yeah. Especially in the neighborhood. Like, I guess he took care, that cop was getting bullied as a kid, and Whitey Bulger and his crew stuck up for him.
Yeah.
So he's super loyal to him. So when he became an FBI agent, he was like, hey, I can help you out here if you help us out. So Whitey would provide intelligence on the Italian mafia and give him tips and stuff. So he's still doing his job. He got promoted and stuff because he was taking.
Is it Italian or Italian?
So he's super loyal to him. So when he became an FBI agent, he was like, hey, I can help you out here if you help us out. So Whitey would provide intelligence.
Yeah, big up NJ.
Wokes are trying to make it African American mass now.
Did you hear they're trying to cast Kevin Hart as the Whitey Bulger character, right? He's gonna start getting annoyed about that. Black Mass by name. Black Mass by name, you know what I mean? They take that literally. It's actually Black Mass.
on the Italian mafia and like give him tips and stuff. So he's still doing his job. He got promoted and stuff because he was like taking down the Italian mafia. But then he would let
Coiler, yeah, Lizzo playing Whitey Bulger is fucking hilarious.
That's why Whitey got so big. They gave him like carte blanche to take over Boston. He did some horrible shit though, man.
Yeah, murders of innocent people.
How about the guy, because he turned on him, but Whitey Bulger's main hitman who like pulled out people's teeth, killed a fucking young lady, like had over like 30 murders. Dude, I think he got 5 years. He's on the streets right now.
Wow.
He does interviews. Yeah, he
That guy? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Johnny
him.
Martorano. Damn. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
I love the Dead Air, by the way.
It's like
I
Sammy.
love the Dead
He
Air.
turned on him.
Good old
And
Dead
because
Air.
he admitted to 20 murders. He got 12 years. For 20 murders? 12 years? So it says he received reduced
Turned down
prisons.
an offer to enter the witness protection program.
Yeah, no one's fucking with him. And the Winter Hill gang's all gone, so he doesn't have to worry about it. He's still living in Boston.
Wow.
He was released from prison, given $20,000 to start a new life. God, they hooked him up. That's a bad guy.
Bulger's defense team alleges that since being released from prison, Martorano is resumed criminal activity, but is being shielded by his state. Wow.
But what do you think he gave up to get that deal?
He gave up Whitey Bulger.
Yeah.
Let's take a little break, kids.
This fucking show. We got everybody tuning in. Pick up everybody hanging out. Smash the like button. Hit subscribe. All that good shit. Join. Become a member. We're trying to hit 500 members. Sorry, by the end of the fucking thing. I think we've got 150 something. So make sure if you want to be a part of that, click the link down below in the description. We're probably gonna go for another half an hour, and I'm gonna leave the rest of this for tomorrow's longer random show stream. So we're probably gonna do this for another half an hour, and I'll give you guys a break, and we'll catch up and do the rest of this later on tomorrow, because this is brutal. Let's skip through.
See dkng.co/audio.
Actually, before we continue, can I quickly check out Tim Dillon? Because I'm gonna do a review of Tim Dillon's stand-up special tomorrow. Actually, I'll put that on the Patreon because I haven't done a Patreon episode in ages. So I'll do a Patreon episode tomorrow, and I'll put up a review of Tim Dillon's Netflix special that just dropped recently. So if you want to watch that for cheap and hear me commentate over it, join the Patreon. I think I've got a $1 tier at the moment. So check out the $1 tier. I think it's patreon.com/Agostino. But he has got a new special coming out. I think it's out today or it's out yesterday. Tim Dillon special. But I think he's got a trailer on his Instagram. So let me check. I think Tim Dillon has a trailer on his Instagram for the special. So I want to see what it is. But it should be out now on Netflix. But I'll react to it on my Patreon tomorrow. Let's see this. Let's press play. Let's go on his thing. Let's see. Let's see what he's saying. Yeah, okay, cool. I think it's this one, right? Where is it? It's that one there. Tim Dillon, I'm Your Mother. Okay, yes, I'm Your Mother. So it's out now. 15th, right? Yeah, it should be out now already. Let's press this. Tim Dillon, I'm Your Mother.
It's a pile of fucking ash. I don't care if it has a view of the ocean.
You podcasters think you've inherited the kingdom.
Ah, that's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. That's pretty funny. That is absolutely quite funny. I'm not gonna lie. Having Kieran Bates, he's spoken about him a lot as well in his pod as well. He actually be a really good guest for the show. That's a really good fucking pull. I wonder how he was able to get him on. I wonder how he was able to get Netflix to agree to this, because obviously, he got cancelled and Netflix cut him out of the show, House of Cards, but he's got him on his trailer. I wonder how he's able to wrangle that, or maybe Netflix don't know.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to call you back.
Whispering in ears, swaying elections, spinning the truth like it was cotton candy, when in fact, you're nothing but a bunch of clowns juggling boner pills and hair tonic.
Man, he was so good. Honestly, he was so good. He embodied that role so fucking well, innit? Like, as soon as he left House of Cards, that show literally fell like a House of Cards. Really fucking good. He's a really good actor anyway in general. The cancellation kind of fucked him up, and he hasn't been able to get back on his feet since. Even though I think he got found not guilty in court as well, didn't he? for what he got accused of. I think he got actually found not guilty, or maybe I'm not sure if he got found guilty or cleared on the charges. Either way, he's still finding it hard to get back into acting. I've not seen him in a big role in a while, so maybe besides what he got accused of, he was actually a bit of a cunt in real life. Because that's what usually happens. If you don't get back in after your cancellation, it's usually because people didn't like you anyway, and they use the cancellation as an excuse to get you the fuck out of here. But when he's on, yo, Kevin Spacey's the one. He's one of them ones. He's one of them ones.
Frank Underwood? I thought you were dead.
I'm as dead as John McCain.
He is dead.
Excuse my ignorance. I meant Herman Cain.
He's also dead.
Dean Cain.
To be honest, I don't know.
Well, it doesn't matter anyway, because I'm back. And that's why I need you to go on your little podcast and say this.
I don't do political endorsements.
I think you're going to do exactly as I ask, Mr. Dillon.
It's so good.
DoorDash orders made from inside a 5-star steakhouse. While at a hotel in Milwaukee in 2023, you called a Taco Bell just to talk. And you once paid $6,000 to have a Carvel ice cream cake overnighted to a theater in Norway and then returned it for a refund because it wasn't Cookie Puss.
Jesus Christ, Frank, I'll read it. But first, you gotta plug my comedy special.
Oh, Jesus.
It's good. I filmed it in Austin.
I don't care if you filmed it on Mars with Elon Musk. I'm not here to help you.
These photos you gave me, I've posted them all. I'm on the internet. We don't have blackmail, we have content. We're all demons from hell.
You son of a bitch. There is no limit to your duplicity, to your pandering, to your shameless and desperate desire to cling to relevance. You are...
I'm what?
My kind of bastard. You have my endorsement, Mr. Dillon.
Well, I appreciate that, Frank, and I read ads for Morgan & Morgan Law Firm. I'm sure I can endorse the Daily Wire's new musical.
It's really good. Oh, by the way, which network is your comedy special on?
Netflix.
You foul, loathsome, evil little cockroach. But I love it.
Oh, that was brilliant. Although it's pretty clear to see who the actual actor is, right? Kevin Spacey kind of blows Tim out of the water there. Tim's really there's some moments where you can tell Tim is gay, you know, with some of his enunciations. He's been overly dramatic and shit, but still a really good little trailer. I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed that. And it was actually an attempt to be funny, which a lot of these comedy special trailer things aren't funny. I'm just hoping the material's good, but I'll react to it in full tomorrow on my Patreon, so check it out. I'll put up a notification on the random show notification thing, also on Taz. You'll see it everywhere, but I'll react to it on my Patreon so you can see Wagwan and watch it for the cheapos if you don't got a Netflix subscription. Obviously, I'll be stopping it in between here and there, so if you don't like commentary and shit, watch it on your own time. Don't complain about the way I do it, please, for the love of God. But if you do want to see me react to it, then join the Patreon. I'll be doing that tomorrow, so it will go up straight away. So keep an eye out for that. Back to Tfatk.
Just him, you think?
He was FBI's most wanted, yeah, for sure. Well, FBI's most wanted, and you release all the intel because they don't care about him. He's a small fish to fry.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we'll reduce your sentence. Instead of life, you get 12. Yeah, you're the muscle. You can say he was forced to do it and all that.
Yeah, big up Young God Vibes. I have to throw you $1. You're hilarious. Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to do the Patreon at the moment. I'm going to continue the fucking Rogan Is He Funny series, which I haven't still done like an idiot. But I think the only way to kind of get some value out of that is probably to do a lot of that Netflix shit. And, you know, just what's the Netflix subscription? £20 now? Maybe more? So if I can just react to these Netflix specials, and you know, I got that $1 tier, which makes it a no-brainer really. So if you want to watch some of the specials on the cheap season, you're not bothered about getting a Netflix subscription, then wait for me to react to them, and you can kind of watch them on there. Or if you need that, because they do that as well. And sometimes as well, I need to use my Patreon to upload episodes that get deleted on here, because I think I got a strike on something. Anyway, I'll sort that later. But yeah, I'll put a notification out. I'll let you guys know when that's up.
Shit, you know.
So he was Whitey's main guy.
Dude admitted to 30
we're still talking about
murders.
Whitey Bulger.
20
Jesus
and got
Christ.
12 years in
17,
prison.
17.
What? No, but they reduced.
You know what, right? I take it back. I take back all this fucking annoying at him being so. You know what would have been good? When Brendan was doing stand-up, you know what would have been actually good? If he used some of this knowledge, some of this insight, some of this passion he has for true crime and added it to his special, you know? Maybe spoke about whenever he was doing stand-up in a particular state. Maybe he spoke about a particular famous serial killer or a famous case or a cold case, integrated that into his stand-up, made jokes about it, edgy jokes, whatever it may be. That would have been actually quite interesting to have seen, because he actually does seem to have some level of passion for it and interest for it. That would have actually made his stand-up maybe a little bit more interesting to maybe listen to or view, instead of what he did, going on stage, deep throating fucking beer bottles and shit. I think talking about it the way he did there would have actually been funnier, but hey, that boat is now sailed, I guess.
Used to 12.
Yeah. No, he spent more than 17 years behind bars. But still, man. Yeah, I mean.
He's saving 17. How about 17 and you're out on with the regular folk?
And making money off gambling.
You imagine
you
him
get keyed right
Imagine when you're in Austin, your next door neighbor, you're like, who's that? Oh, that's Johnny, man. He was Whitey Bulger's guy. What'd he do?
By the way, he only admitted to 20. He
Yeah.
killed more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, wow.
His nickname's the Executioner. But they want to get Whitey Bulger so bad because he made the FBI look so silly. Dude, but Whitey Bulger, he was on the lam for a long time in Santa Monica, right down here in Santa Monica for 20 years?
Isn't that crazy? Just walking around, getting his nails
Boy,
done.
did he die a nasty death though.
Yeah.
Ripped his eyes out, ripped his tongue out, beaten to death with a lock from another gang, a mafia guy.
Wow.
In prison, yeah.
Unreal.
But he was old as fuck. He was already like
How old
crippled
was he?
and-
Like 80?
Yeah.
I think maybe even older, right?
Right now it says 84.
He was 84.
No,
Whitey
right now.
Bulger.
Whitey Bulger.
Oh,
when he
Mark
died.
Rama's still alive at 84. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Probably hard to kill somebody at 85. But yeah, Whitey Bulger died a horrible death. Right.
Why would it be hard to kill somebody if they're 84 years old? Wouldn't it be easier the older they are? Why would it be harder? What?
Hopefully so. That's how it goes.
89?
That's a good run. 89?
Great run, dude.
You get killed and you're like, fuck it.
I'm sure he was thinking, fuck it, while they were pulling out his eyes. I'm sure he was like, fuck it, I had a good run. I'm sure that was what was going through Whitey Bulger's head as he was getting fucking stomped out into the ground. Yeah, sure.
Hours after. He only was there for hours.
Isn't it weird that the guy that killed him, they gave 25 years? So the guy that killed Whitey Bulger got a longer sentence than Whitey Bulger's muscle that admitted to killing over 20 people? Make it make sense.
It's called cooperating with the feds, people. It's called cooperating with the feds. Sometimes the feds want other names to stop other crimes, to put other people in prison. So sometimes they'll give you a lesser sentence for a really heinous crime. It's pretty self-explanatory, really. It's not that hard to understand.
How weird, though. Like, you have a constitution that's you're just born to be bad. You're just born bad, man.
Exactly. There we go. It's called a plea deal. Exactly. Cooperation plea deal. Like, I'm not sure why he's struggling to understand this. Yes, that guy should have got more time, but he didn't because he probably gave out other people's names and information and shit.
Right? It's like you just... I guess it's just you just have a hatred for humanity.
Great podcast.
It's the way you look at people.
You know Whitey Bulger won the lottery 3 times in Boston?
He did?
Mm-hmm. Look that up.
There has to be a connection then if he did.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, shit. Ding, ding, yeah, Chin.
Fucking hell, Chinsu Yi. Chinsu fucking Yi, bro. Chinsu fucking Yi, ladies and gentlemen.
Times in Boston?
For humanity. It's the way you look at people.
You know Whitey Bulger won the lottery 3 times in Boston?
He did?
Mm-hmm. Look that up.
There has to be a connection then if he did.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, shit. Ding, ding, yeah, Chin. Yeah, he scammed the lottery.
Yeah,
I knew
these
it.
guys are just...
Yeah, he scammed the lottery. I think he won at least 2 or 3 times.
Big up Joe for MIA. Okay, cool. Let's Joe's my guy. Bro, I love you. Bro, jump off this balcony if I hear White Bulge name again. No problem. Let's do Joe for MIA. Solid. Let's do him a solid. Let's skip past. We had to watch it in full, but let's skip past a little section here. There's too much White Bulge talk. Everyone's dying. Hold on, let's skip past this. Let's see what we can get here. Let's get about here.
Powerful bunch.
Yeah, we got NJ. Appreciate you, brother.
Serial rapists tell about people inherently evil.
Yeah. No mention of Michael Callan either, by the way. No mention of Papa Callan, eh? And some of the nefarious things he may or may not have done in the Middle East, setting up Citibank. Let's not talk about that. Big up NJ.
He is like he was so bad that I was looking him up. There he is, that guy.
Oh my God, they're still doing this. Like, did they just both watch Narcos or Mass fucking whatever recently? Like,
Bulger's brilliant scheme.
Oh my God, no. Even okay, now I'm getting mad. Sorry, I'm gonna have to skip past this whole chunk. What's around here?
Now he's like whatever. Now he's trying to get back to his life because he has anger management and went fucking crazy.
No, let's skip ahead again. Oh my God. Okay, cool.
Simply Safe is setting the new.
Thank God.
Your job, because if you're just a normal cop that's kind of fucking up here, you're not going to make homicide.
No,
that's the tip of the spear. And then FBI. Oh my God! I bet I have a college degree.
Tell me, it's like this guy's.
Yo, big up Eddie D. Sorry to ask an off-topic question, but you're aware of the former DSP Den who now gets more live views on DSP. Yeah, I heard of him. I watched a Kino Casino clip about him the other day, actually. This morning. He kind of sounds like Josh Block, innit? World of T-shirts. I'm not gonna lie. He's a little bit too regarded and dented for me to derive fun from. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I have to be honest, bro. Like, I used to be hard on myself for the things that I laughed about. Like, I used to feel really guilty when I would laugh or derive a lot of joy from watching a lot of regarded shit online. But ever since I've got really into lolcow stuff, there are way worse people than me out there who really enjoy like laughing and mocking actual people who need like help and shit. Because this PWR guy, it's a funny little part of the law that he's one of DSP's dents and now he's become more famous than him and DSP's blocked him and shit. But he's actually like, you know what I mean? And people love it. They call into his show, they troll him, wind him up and stuff. Like, it's kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie, man. It kind of bums me out, but I'm glad he's having fun with it. But it's kind of wild. I think he's like 34. He lives at home with his parents. His parents buy him presents and shit. He talks about toys. He was crying one time because he found out DSP, I think he was crying on stream when he found out DSP blocked him. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. Like, I already, like, you know, when I watch Josh Block shit on here, I get a bit, you know, I feel a bit bad for watching it, you know, but that PWR is another level, man. I'm happy for him, but he's another level.
Missing, and then they find his car, and his car's got 8 parking tickets on it, so it's been there for, you know,
a hot second.
Yeah, I think the DSP money thing. I feel the DSP money thing's easy to understand. All of us normal, well-adjusted people don't get it, but we also root for his demise. And I think he has enough people in his fan base who don't want to see him fail to spite us. I think that's what it is, essentially. I think if we all stopped caring about DSP and stopped watching him completely, I think those people who tip him only to spite the people who don't like him would stop turning up as well. So in a weird way, he would disappear from the internet if people just stop talking about him, but they can't because he's so entertaining, right? He's such a fucking psycho. He's such a horrible person that you just want to see him fail in real time. You're kind of rooting for his demise. But I think the reason why he still makes money is because people like, and I'm assuming some trolls too, like to keep the shit show going. Like, some trolls love to just kind of stoke the fire and lead it on and charge it on. Like, there's one guy the other day on Wings of Redemption stream. Some one dude donated like $200 to Wings of Redemption and he ripped him a new arsehole. Some dude, like, he donated $200 to Wings of Redemption and basically said, you're a failure, you're a woman abuser, you'd never learn your lesson. So hopefully now with this money, you can maybe reflect on your bad actions and maybe you might come to Christ or something. But you had 15 years of people trying to tell you what to do or try and tell you to change or trying to tell you of your bad behavior. You don't learn. So some people out there kind of, you know, enable some of these people's actions and bad habits. But it kind of is a bit, it is what it is. I think with DSP eventually it will end. I don't think he's going to have a long run because he is running out of whales. And he demands so much from people. That's the thing with DSP. I think he'd be set for life if he didn't demand as much. He demands too much. He demands like essentially $300 every day. He wants $300 6 days per week from his fans. And then when he has a special events, he wants to always hit a minimum of $1,000. Now he's better because he combines memberships and subscriptions with and subs with the daily tip, with the daily amount. Before it was only tips, but he demands too much. So it reached a point where he'll just, you know, he'll rinse everybody's pockets. But I'm not surprised he makes money because, you know, he's just such a divisive, you know, irredeemable piece of shit that there's bound to be some people out there that actually like him and want to see it continue, just despite the people that don't like him.
And all they did was like look in the car, and they're like, "Well, that guy's in the driver's seat.
He fell asleep,
and he's got 13 stab wounds in his body."
Oh,
yeah, exactly. Big up Sadaziz, exactly. Oh yeah, yeah. Big up Uche. Yeah, maybe we'll do that tomorrow too. Actually, the Matan and Josh Block video that was fucking insane, intense. Actually, he was smiling a lot there. He actually seemed like he had some fun in the beginning, at least. Anyway, he was smiling. You don't usually see him smiling. So that was kind of good to see Josh smiling, having a good time. Big up Asad Aziz. I get the DSP funding. I was tempted to drop 1K and watch him get alcohol poisoning. That's the thing though. He's so greedy and so anti-fun. Like even when he does the boosting, he does $100 tips. Sorry, $100 fucking shots. Who does $100 shots? He only does that so he can limit the amount of shots that he gets. But even if he does get $100 shot tips sent to him, he still refuses to take them. So he's so boring. He's so like tight and fucking stuck in his ways and unwilling to really let loose. But if he actually did let loose, weirdly enough, like you said, if he had TTS on his channel, if he actually leaned into the whole locale thing and actually, you know, lowered the fucking shot amount and actually got blitz on camera, he'd make so much money. And he had more money to spend on WWE champions. He'd have more money to spend on all these fucking habits and these addictions like gin and fucking DoorDash. He'd have all the money in the world, but he loves to control how he's perceived and shit, and he thinks too much of himself, so it's all over the place. But I think that would be hilarious if he actually did fucking get alcohol poisoning. It would be so fucking funny.
So how did the Mater Maid miss that every single time?
Meter Maid's like, I'm not a cop.
But they don't even notice.
I thought he was
they don't
sleeping.
even look. They're just like, yeah.
There's like
They're
ticket,
you can see all
ticket.
the blood and everything. I mean, the fuck. What are you
Now
doing?
just go my ticket.
Right. That's it. Like
everyday ticket. Just check in the box. Ticket.
And you see the guy like this.
With your eyes so wide open.
Yeah, like.
Because if the guy's like here,
all stabbed up like this.
Yeah. So come on, figure it out.
What are you? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Did anybody else see it walking by? No.
Well, there's that new doc on Netflix. It's on the Gigolo serial killer in is that Long Island or Staten Island?
Oh yeah.
They finally did a doc on it.
You see how big he is?
It's huge.
God, they're doing a documentary.
The doc's out. I fell asleep last night, so I can't tell you if it was good or not.
He's just a horror show.
He's huge.
Just serial killer. I can't do this serial killer stuff, man. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do the serial killer stuff. I really don't care. I honestly don't care. When it comes to the news the first time around, you check it out, but I don't care. And I also don't want them to tell me, you know? Like, they're the worst fucking narrators. Like, I don't care.
The head and twice in the back, then stabbing her several times.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
We're still talking about
and then Kemper's
earlier talking about my mom.
Oh my god, we're still talking about serial killers. Oh my god, please no. Enough. Is there an ad here? Cool, there you go. Enough. There you go.
You think he was a great guy before football?
Yeah, I think there are people that have. Look,
I think it's a soup of bullshit.
Case by case basis. Like some people are
Yo, big up Young Old Vibes. The Josh Block kid is just sad. I take care of my uncle with cerebral palsy, and I'll legit crash out if someone put a camera on his face. Yeah. That Mr. Bass guy, like, that's exploitation in full 4K. You know what I mean? That's exploitation at full 4K. And that's a grown adult. That's a man, like, just really going out of his way to exploit that kid and get as much money, attention, and clout off of him. It's kind of he's the worst character in that whole thing. He's the worst character. I for some reason I don't really blame the people that troll Josh Block too much, but the guy that essentially exploits him and uses him for content and gets him fucked up and gets prostitutes in the crib to go and fuck it, like, oh yeah. That guy is the worst.
They're tearing themselves up with a lot of, like, first of all, they may already have some things going on.
You know how crazy you got to be to choose mixed martial arts as a career, to fight grown men in the octagon in your underwear?
It's a combination of everything.
So you're already damage. We already live life different than most people. We already think different than most people. Now, Mayhem Miller's a good example. Rampage had a horrible episode. Remember, we went down the 405 and that.
Okay, I can't do this. I'm gonna check out the clips on the Tfatk Reddit. I can't do this. I can't. Maybe we'll finish this tomorrow in full tomorrow, but I can't. It's too redacted. I just cannot. I simply cannot. Let's see what people have pulled from the Reddit. See, even the Reddit haven't got that many clips. The Reddit have what? How many clips from this particular episode? 3 clips. 3 clips from the episode. So it must have been a real doozer. Okay, I can't do it. I won't do it to you guys. I won't do it to you guys because there's only 3 clips here. So let's go through what they pulled. Nice guy, never met him. Whoops, sounds off.
Back, boys.
Back. Did you do 37?
Okay, we've seen it already. Actually, just play it anyway. Doesn't matter. Play it.
Did you do 225?
35 and a half.
225, 35 and a half.
35 and a half at the end of my workout.
At the end of your workout.
It was deadlift day and pull-up day, and I thought, you know what? Fuck it. Let's end on 225. And I don't use spotters. I think spotters are for gays. And so then I did 225. And
so
on 35, the old arm was like, I don't think so, dude.
Yeah.
That one where I'm sitting on the bench with my face. It almost fell on my neck.
Shouldn't you have a spotter?
No. See the young guy in the, well, he's not a young guy, he's an older guy in the back with his trainer. He was not paying attention. They thought I needed help. Sir, I got this. Nice guy, though. Never met him before.
It's a lot of weight. 30. 31. 2.
No, you're off by 2, B.
3.
I think you're off by 2.
Oof.
You there?
Ah.
That guy came to help.
You're hitting your chest. That doesn't hurt?
No.
No.
That guy came to help at my mercy.
Damn. He was probably counting. He was like, geez.
No, I don't think he was paying attention. They probably looked over and saw me struggling. But I got it. There's always that lower when I set it on. I never use spotters.
I would have helped you too. You don't
secure my hips.
You don't use spotters?
Never.
Just
Do
use
you?
a spotter.
No, never.
I don't really have a.
Oh, you don't need it. Yeah, no, I never do.
But that's
Anyway, whatever. We don't care. Big up Boo Dizzy, guy that claimed to have a torn bicep 3 weeks ago. Exactly. Actually, talking about torn biceps, look at what a torn bicep actually looks like. What's his name? Mark Ronson. Remember the DJ Mark Ronson? Look up into Mark Ronson recently. This is what a torn bicep actually looks like. So Brennan said he tore his bicep, which he didn't. He probably sprained it. If that. Maybe he got some cramp. But look what happened to Mark Ronson recently. He was in hospital because he tore his bicep. Look at his caption. Mark Ronson, the DJ and producer extraordinaire, responsible for the success of, what's the fucking name? You know who I'm talking about. The caption says, that time the house PA was so bad that I tried to one hand turn the stage monitor towards the crowd mid-mix to give them some extra juice. Turns out they weigh more than I thought. 2 popped bicep tendons and 1 finished gig later. Here we are. So that's Mark Ronson, who's, I think, a bit younger than fucking probably Brendan, I'm assuming. Maybe same age. Is he same age? I don't know how old he is, actually. How old is Mark Ronson? Is he same age or a bit younger than Brendan? Let's see. Oh, actually, he's older. Shit. Mark Ronson's actually older than Brendan. And he tore his entire bicep moving a fucking monitor on stage. A speaker, essentially. And look, he's in hospital. Actual hospital. That's what happens when you have a torn bicep. And now he's out of hospital. Look what happened. He's got a cast on his hand, on his arm, you know? That's what happens when you actually tear your bicep. When you tear your bicep, you're in the hospital, and when you get discharged, you have to have a cast on. So this Brendan thing about tearing his bicep is just a lie. You know, a lie and exaggeration to make him sound more edgy and hardcore and tough and shit. But he didn't tear his bicep. He might have pulled it, he might have strained it, he might have sprained it, sorry, but he did not tear it, for sure. Continuing on. Nice one. Will Breedak pick? Oh my god, this is interesting. Which one will Breedak pick up first? Good chance he already has one. I'm not watching. This is so funny. Which hat? Look, yeah, they look very Austin. So which Texas hat is he gonna get? That one? I don't know I don't know what they are, to be fair. So maybe you guys will tell me which one they are. But which ones is he gonna make his personality? Which hat is Brendan gonna make his new Austin personality? Oh, if he does end up wearing one of these, I'm gonna be so curious to see it. What you guys saying in the stream chat? Put the numbers in there. Which one? ASAP says number 2. Wait, Longhorns is there's that one, right? Number 1. So number 2, number 1. People are saying 3. Number 3. Okay, that T one. Oh, there's a really good one actually. T that what's his name made? My guy John Geiger. He made a really good T one that's got loads of T's on there as well. That's been doing some bits and selling for a lot of money. Number 1, Younger Vibe says, pretty sure he has the first one. Yeah, number 1 and 4. I live in Texas now, hats. Number 1 and 4, Texas Ranger MLB. Okay, that's that one, right? Texas Ranger MLB, yeah. Okay, cool. I think John Geiger. Is it John Geiger? John Geiger. Texas. Is it? Texas MLB hat. It's that one where it's got loads of T's on it. That's the one, yeah, you see? That hat here. So John Geiger, the streetwear sneaker designer that I love, he made this hat. It's been selling for thousands. I think people are selling this hat for like £1,000 on eBay. It's been resold for. Obviously, it's a regular price if you want to buy it, but I think the resale price is like $1,000. So I guess it's the T, and it's just like, extra T's there. Extra T's. 1,000, please. Continuing on, Bappa is best friends with Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I know, and you don't look at him and think that.
Wow. And he won a Super Bowl. He's a stud. Makes sense. As long as he's played.
Because I know the house he bought recently, and I was like, because I know
Calabasas.
A friend of mine, somebody I know very well, is very good friends with him.
I see him all the time.
Oh, you do? Yeah. You see him all the time?
All the time.
He tall guy, right? As tall as you?
Yeah, probably my height.
And just...
it would make sense he made that much money.
Who's this? Who's Matthew Stafford? Extra doubt. Matthew Stafford is an American professional. He's a quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams. He played college football in Georgia. Brendan allegedly knows him. Yeah, all right, mate, all right. Extra doubt. Look at some of the people that I searched. I'm so eclectic, aren't I? I'm so fucking eclectic. Look at my recently viewed people: Joe Rogan, Stevie Williams, Altai Bayinda, and Daryl Cooper. That's a very eclectic list of people, isn't it? Dream blunt rotation right there. Dream blunt rotation. Oh God Almighty. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Coiler spotted that, innit? The hate on his face. Is he taller? Look at the hate.
He's very good friends with him.
I see him all the time.
Oh, you do? Yeah.
Yeah.
You see him all the time?
All the time.
He's tall guy, right?
Look at the hate. Look at the hate. Look at the hate.
As tall as you?
Yeah, probably my height.
Look at the hate. Look at the hate. Look at the hate on his face. Look at that. Fucking hell. Oh, anyway. Let's move away from that. Bappa said only Joe has access to exclusive video. What?
But apparently, what are they, 6-month-old and they're 80 pounds each already?
Oh, they're going to be huge then?
Yeah, huge.
I mean, there's a little video that'll show you how they're made, but
But they don't give you the
You might
updated
have
video
made up
because
that.
they don't want to know. Rogan saw the video,
Really?
the actual footage.
look at that.
That's wild.
Hey, can I be honest?
I know.
Say it.
It looks like every wolf we've ever seen, right? He's just going to be a little bigger. If you're going to do some shit, but I want
Wolf.
we've ever seen, right? He's just going to be a little big. It looks like every wolf we've ever seen, right? Looks like every wolf we've ever seen, right? Looks like every wolf we've ever seen, right? He's just going to be a little bigger. If you're going to do some shit, but I want to be blown. Like UFC 300, if you're going to blow me, do a fucking woolly mammoth, do a saber tooth, bring back a pterodactyl, do some shit, bro.
I
Do
didn't
some
say.
Fuck, this guy's exhausting. Baba is off property and gives a very fleshed out narrative of his Texas move. Oh, this is going to be good. This is a new interview, right? Is that a new interview? That must be a new interview, right? Let me check this on my YouTube here. Is that a new interview? That must be a new interview that we haven't seen just yet. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow as well, basically. We'll do this new interview. Yeah, it is. It's with a person called Fight Bananas Official. Wow, it's got like 4 views. Jesus Christ. Brendan is not a draw. He's not a fucking draw. Let's see if I can get out for you. I'll show you here. I think that's the... Anyway, let's just watch the clip. What am I doing? I'm fucking going crazy.
When did the whole Austin thing come about? Like, we talked a little bit about it off air. Was this major plan for a long time, or was it like, I remember you were like, hey,
here we go. He's gonna rewrite history in real time. I'd imagine the honest answer would be something like this, isn't it, right? If I could speak for Brendan, which I'm gonna do because that's what content's all about, but if I could speak for him, I'd say the real answer is probably a mix of things. He probably wasn't thinking about moving there until he started encouraging Brian to move there, because he's such a reader. His brain works really strangely. So he only probably started to think realistically about moving there himself when he started to encourage Brian. And then Brian started to encourage him to join him, because Brian's a bit of a cuck and can't do anything by himself. He was like, no, I need you to come with me too. And Brian was like, oh shit, that sounds like a good idea. Let me look into it. And then he probably found out about the property prices. He found out he could probably get way more bang for his buck if he moved there. He found out he could probably get a better, the same level private school for far cheaper if he moved there, and that's why he went. It's nothing to do with comedy. I don't think it's anything even to do with Rogan. I think it's purely just a money thing. He's not making as much money as he used to. There's no stand-up. The whiskey flopped. He's got that channel with the car thing. Probably is all money that's going out. The podcast doesn't make as much money as it used to, so he's probably trying to conserve or save, cut back on the spending. And one way to do that is to get rid of this big unnecessary studio, because that studio only made sense when he actually had a team around him, people that he kind of like paid to hang around him. But now if that studio is just being used primarily to do what? Tfatk. He doesn't even do Fight Companions anymore, right? Calabasas Fight Companion is completely gone. There's no more Food Truck Diaries. So I think he's moving there just to save money. That's probably the real answer. But let's see what he says.
Brian, you got to go there. Like, you got to be there. You're being a good guy, good friend, good brother, right? You're like, you got to go. Did you think in the back of your mind you were going to go? Like, how did dude, I got 4 kids. I can't move across the city without being a 2-year plan. You know what I mean? Like, how'd you get this done, brother?
I know. It started with the fires. Like, so if you don't know the way LA works, so think of
I don't get the fire thing as well. I don't get the fire. I guess he's trying to be political, but how would the fire want to make you move if your house is okay? Like, you have 3 kids. Maybe if you've got one kid, or maybe if you're single and your house escaped the LA fires, maybe it might be a sign for you to move. Cool. But if you kind of were safe, or you were kind of, exempt from the fires and you didn't suffer from them, why would you want to move anyway? It still doesn't make sense. Like, it's a strange reason.
A mountain like this, Palisades is here, and I'm on the other side of the mountain. The only thing that separates us is the mountain. Yeah. So when the fires hit, the fires everyone I'm sure heard about, there's all these fire trucks around my neighborhood, like everywhere. And one of the fire truck guys recognized me. I'm talking to him.
Of course, one of the fire truck guys recognized me. You couldn't just say, I like waved down a fire truck guy. A fire truck guy was walking past my house, walking past my area. I just waved at him and told him, hey, can I speak to you for a second? No, he recognized me. Mid-fire, by the way, right? Mid trying to put out fires, mid trying to stop people's houses from burning down into piles of ash. He recognized me.
And he goes, buddy, get your kids out. I go, really? I go, but we're good here. He goes, you're not. He goes, because we're here because if those winds change 2 miles an hour this way, you're the Palisades. Yeah. He was like, don't wait for the government to tell you to get your kids out. So we dipped out.
Firefighters are anti-government as well, yeah? Firefighters are anti-woke. Firefighters are, precisely politically inclined, they're exactly politically aligned as he is, right? They're aligned politically. That's what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. Just by coincidence, by the way. Just by coincidence, the one firefighter he bumps into aligns with him perfectly when it comes to politics, recognized him, and also told him, hey, get your kids out of here. Move. Go to Austin. I was listening to the podcast the other day. I saw you talking to Brian. You should also move there.
Power shut down. We were shut down for 2 weeks, living with my mother-in-law. And my wife, I wanted to move during the pandemic. I was so sick of LA in the pandemic.
Ah, okay. Now we're getting some truth. So he did want to move to Austin when everyone moved there. This is the time when he was doing stand-up still. So there's a chance he could have still did stand-up. Now I'm starting to think the whole reason why he's not doing stand-up is purely because he couldn't handle not selling tickets. He couldn't handle performing in front of 10 people. So if he would have moved to Austin the same time everyone else did during the pandemic, he might have still been doing stand-up right now. We might have got another Gringo Pappy, man. Fuck. We might have got Gringo Pappy too. If he would have moved to, if fucking Slow Joe would have let him move to Austin and moved the family there in the pandemic, we might have got fucking Gringo Pappy too. Shit. Or Gringo Pappy Dos.
And that's when all my guys moved, and my wife just wasn't having it. She's from here, her family's here, so she wasn't having it. Then the fire, she looked at me and was like, let's get the hell out of here. I'm like, really? She was like, yep. So I put the house up the next day for sale. Put the other houses up for sale. And then when those sold, I'm like, oh shit, it's getting real.
Put the other houses? What houses has he got? So did he buy a house for his mum? For the mother-in-law? And who else did he buy a house for? Maybe the brother. He's got another house that he stays in. A house to bang the hoes. A house to bang the baddies. Houses. Huh.
And then for me, it got real when I had to shut down my fish tanks on Saturday. I was like, oh shit, I'm really leaving, man. So I think it's just time. I think it's good for the kids, for them to see a little bit of adjustment. Everyone's a little too comfortable. Okay. And it's just whenever.
Honestly, the life of a person with privilege who wants to be normal and stuff, like, so the way to teach your kids how to have some hustle or have some bit of bite about them is to just move them. Like, I don't know if that's gonna get the message across, really, you know? Maybe the way to get the message across is to maybe, I don't know, put them in schools, in places where they're maybe surrounded by regular folks and shit, regular kids. That might be helpful. Maybe sign them up for certain classes, or maybe go to certain camps and stuff. But I don't think just plucking your kids up from LA and moving them to Austin is the way that it's going to teach them how to not be comfortable or how to be okay in discomfort. I don't know if that's the right way to go about doing things, to be fair. But, you know, what do I know?
When I make these big moves, it always works out. So I think it's good. And in regards to Callan, comedy in LA is pretty dead. It used to be the golden age. It used to be especially 2018, 2019, especially when I got into comedy, like 2006.
Is stand-up in LA dead? Or is it only dead for Rogan's crew of people because Rogan's not there anymore? I wonder, is it actually dead, or is it just dead if you're a friend of Rogan's and you got in through Rogan and now Rogan isn't there, you have to do it all by yourself again?
2016 to 2019 was like the golden age of the Comedy Store. All that's gone. It's all spread out. COVID kind of messed everything up. Cancellation culture messed everything up. So
cancellation culture. You can't say anything right, can you? Cancellation culture.
The Comedy Store is not really popping anymore. So for Callen,
Comedy Store's not really popping anymore. The Comedy Store isn't really popping anymore. Let's see. The Comedy Store isn't really popping anymore, according to B. Schaub. Well, let's have a look. See, world famous Comedy Store. This is the Instagram, right? Looks kind of popping to me. Looks kind of popping to me. Oh, look at that. Look at that lineup. Look at that lineup. That sounds like a pretty popping lineup to me right there, right? Those people that we all recognize there. Looks pretty popping to me. Pictures, guests, people arriving, Santina. Look at that. Looks pretty popping to me. It looks pretty popping to me. Not gonna lie, it looks pretty popping to me. Jeremiah Watkins. Oh, Dane Cook. Look at that, Dane Cook. Was that Annie Lederman there in the blonde, or is that am I blind there? No, it's not. That's somebody else, right? I don't know who that is. Not Annie Lederman. My bad. Apologies. Looks pretty popping to me though. But according to Brendan, it's not popping. According to Brendan, it's not popping. Cool.
he just became kind of this road comic. He's on his own. He's not around, his peers and stuff like that.
By the way, Brian Callen is a road comic through mostly, I'd imagine, through cancellation, and mostly also because of being friends with Brendan. He probably got excommunicated from that little comedy crew, which is why he doesn't go to clubs. I'm assuming he doesn't get booked in those clubs to do sets. That's why he has to go on the road. So not really cancellation culture, it's more so his behavior.
So I told him he needs to move, and he's like, "Oh, I agree with you." And then when the fires happened, I told him, I said, "I'm leaving, dude. I'm leaving." And he's like, "Serious?" I'm like, "I'm leaving, bud. I'm leaving. I think you should come, but he has kids here."
Hold on. Didn't he say on the podcast? Am I losing my mind? Or did he not tell Brian he has to move to Austin after Brian did a weekend at the mothership? Now he's rewriting history and saying he told Brian he was going to move first. Didn't he say on the pod, "You should move," and then he followed suit? I don't know. Who knows? Who really cares? But it's a weird thing to lie about when you just said it on the episode. But hey.
Serious family house here. I go, right. I don't put any pressure on you, but I'm out. Yeah. So he was just like, "All right, I'm coming with you." Yeah. And, Brian's crazy ass. We went out before we did the companion. We came out like 2 days earlier. And I do my homework. I went through all the neighborhoods. I looked at probably 30 homes and still didn't make a decision. I had to go back the following week. Brian, first house he looks at, doesn't even tell me, bought the house. Doesn't tell me. And like 2 weeks later, he's like, "Oh, yeah, man, Austin's great." I'm like, "What the fuck you mean?" He's like, "Oh, I moved." I'm like, "Oh, my God, dude, I got to go to the studio still." He's like, "Really?" He's like, "How long is that going to take?" I'm like, "Right to May, dude."
Yeah. That takes a minute.
And he's going back and forth, So, it's a big move, man, but I think it'd be good for us.
I love it, man. Hey,
a lot of retconning as per usual. Interesting way that I guess as time goes on. To be fair, it doesn't really matter, innit? Because it's Brendan Schaub as well. No one really cares about what he says, apart from us. So it's not like he's really going to get picked apart by anyone. So I guess it helps whenever you're on another show. You just make up another story, You make up another tale. You spin another tale. You just make it up on the spot. It is what it is. But yeah, interesting way to put it. But I guess one detail that we didn't know about was that he wanted to move to Austin during the pandemic. I believe that. that I actually believe. I believe that was the case. I believe that Slojo did put her foot down, and it probably makes sense that she's now talking about Austin with a big chest and say, "Oh my God, the cat's out of the bag. I can't wait to move," because it's her decision. You know, she hasn't been pressured into this. She's decided also, I want to move. You know, because I'd imagine there's also a lot for her to gain out of this move too. It'll mean they'll have a lot more disposable income that she can spend on designer clothes. You know what I mean? If they save up on rent, because I think he said they bought the house outright too. So yeah, they bought the house outright. So I'm assuming that whole entire 3.9 they made from the house in LA went to buy the new house and whatever else it may be, any upgrades. So essentially, there is no mortgage, which is gonna, that's a lot of money going in your pocket now, clean. So yeah, they're gonna be living well, or she's gonna be living well. So that probably is the reason why she's happy to move there and be like, you know what, fuck it. I won't have my creature comforts, but I'll be living in a lot of comfort because I'll have a lot more money on my card or my Amex to spend. But yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm really curious to see how long the podcast lasts. That's my big thing. I'm really curious to see how long they run the pod, because there's going to be I just have a feeling with how flaky and inconsistent Callan is, if he does reintegrate himself back into the stand-up community over there and they accept him, and they kind of start, working with him again, and he starts appearing on other people's podcasts, he starts to get invited on other people's tours. Who knows, maybe there's in a fucking miracle, his career turns around and he gets back into Hollywood again or something. The first thing that he's gonna sacrifice is Tfatk. The first thing he's gonna start, not turning up for is Brendan. For sure, and that show would die. So and he doesn't have the whole co-host thing going on. So I'm curious to see if that happens. Will the show survive? Will the show survive? Well, guess we have to wait and see. Anyway, people, I'm gonna have to love you and leave you for now. We'll continue this show tomorrow. Tomorrow there'll be another Taz. There'll be another random show. So we'll do those back to back. I'll do the reactions to Tim Dillon first thing, and then put up on my Patreon so you can check it out. So if you haven't watched the Tim Dillon special yet, hold off. I'm going to react to it on my Patreon. I only do it on Patreon because I can't watch it any other way. Because if you put it on YouTube, they block instantly. So if you want to see me react to stand-up specials, check the Patreon. I was thinking, I've got to cut the fucking mustache. This thing is pissing me off. I keep saying to you, I've got one little hair that kind of pokes the underside of my nostrils. Anyway, whatever. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for hanging out. Like and subscribe. Join, become a member. We're trying to hit 500 members by the end of the month. If you can help, that would be greatly appreciated. If not, join the Discord, like and subscribe, leave a comment, join in with the fucking community here, add yourself on the fucking Discord, stream chat, all that good shit, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, thank you for chilling, thank you for hanging out, take care of yourself, and peace out, mofos.